Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Tru Offseason, where we are talking about everything that happens in this NFL offseason. And we are here. We have finished our almost all of the regions to talk about. There's only one left. It's the AFC North, the NFC North. And of course, when I say we, I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about Chase Oliver. Sir, how are you doing this fine evening?
Spoilers for everyone. My Super Bowl matchup. Both of teams are from these conferences. This is why I want to save it for last. This is why. I was like, man, both my Super Bowl teams are going to be representing the AFC and NFC North. You know, like I get it, Buffalo. Okay, I put money on Buffalo for so many years and they let me down. Why should I believe now? Why should I think things have changed? The Chiefs, I get it. Everyone expects them to win. I think they're going to be on a downtick this year in the playoffs, but the AFC and the NFC North both have teams that I believe will make the Super Bowl. Who will win it? I don't know. I haven't made it that far yet, but I believe both the teams that we will talk about today will be in the Super Bowl, and I can't wait.
You're putting your stamp on it.
I'm really high on the two teams from both of the North. They're going to represent the North very well.
Well, before we get into that, we're going to do a quick little rundown of some news and things like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about preseason week 1. So I got a chance to check out the Thursday games and a couple of the Friday games. I did not get a chance to check out the Saturday games except for Denver and San Fran. I was at a wonderful party in the West Loop celebrating my in-laws' 35th wedding anniversary. So shout out to
35 years.
Yeah, shout out to Debbie and Sal. Make 35 years. The actual anniversary was this Monday, but we were all together, and a bunch of people. Actually, some people who recently moved from California to Minneapolis. They drove down. Speaking of Minneapolis and Minnesota and the Vikings. So I didn't get a chance to check out the Saturday games, but I got a little bit of time to check out the Sunday games. I know you definitely were focused on that New Orleans and Chargers football. So how was that for you?
It was a great game. The Chargers, we were forcing turnovers in the preseason. Trey Lance is like my new favorite backup quarterback of all time. He doesn't do anything else but read options. I love it. Everything's great. You know, it's awesome. But yeah, no, it was good. It was nice to see Tyler Shuck, kind of. I feel like we're going to get the great Tyler Shuck experience. He threw a pick 6, so everyone expected that from him. But then he threw a beautiful deep ball. Granted, it was busted coverage by the Chargers, but it was beautiful. That ball that he threw, and it was like a touchdown. I forgot who it was, too. I want to say Dante Pettis. I want to say it was one of these people on the Saints. But, yeah, it was a fun game. Fun game. Chargers have, once again, found some good undrafted gems. No surprise. What we tend to do best. See Hall of Famer Antonio Gates. See Austin Eckler at one point in time. See M80 Malcolm Floyd. So, one of them got hurt, which kind of sucked. He picked 6. I forgot his name. It starts with a T, and he wears a cornerback number that I'm fine with. Not a number that will piss me off. Oh, those wide receivers wearing those 30s were on running routes, John. I almost broke my remote being pissed off. These guys need to get off the field immediately, get cut. But yeah, no, it was good. Chargers are looking well oiled, and my guy Rocket Sanders found his way into the end zone. Raheem Sanders, I was so afraid. He's been injured throughout this training camp process, so I was worried. I was like, man, he's not going to see any shine. But then he bursted with speed into the end zone. I said, Rocket, keep him on the roster, Chargers, please, please, please. Kamani Vidal, your days are numbered, my friend. Learn the practice squad, buddy. Rocket Sanders, I love him.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of hype for Kamani Vidal last year. I remember that. Particularly because, that running back room back then with Dobbins and Gus Edwards, it was like, it's not unthinkable that Vidal, I think it was 5th round rookie, right? Or
5th round,
could not only make the roster, but could potentially unseat somebody, and he did to a certain extent. He was a good receiving back for the Chargers last year. So, man, good. On the it annoys me because from the Broncos' perspective, but it's good for you. Good that
you guys could have gotten Rocket Sanders 6 foot. 190 pounds with burning speed.
All right.
He's great.
Hey,
South
man.
Carolina Gamecock. Shane Beamer.
Though I, as you were talking about Trey Lance, I was pulling up our old from a couple weeks ago, our rankings of backup quarterbacks.
Put Trey Lance one, man.
I mean, I'm saying, but
Trey Lance is one now.
The reason why it's funny is because at the time we anticipated or for whatever reason we put down Taylor Heineke.
Well, Heineke's still the backup. He started the preseason. Trey Lance played like the later portion of the game.
Gotcha.
But like if Herbert goes down, which is like a good possibility because it's the Chargers, and then also too Herbert does get those random like his ankles twisted sideways, who knows what. I would feel much more comfortable with Trey Lance because Trey Lance kind of like it's kind of like with Greg Roman of like who he kind of likes to have at quarterbacks. Trey Lance is pretty much like Kaepernick. Like it's just like a Kaepernick type of situation where it's just like,
well,
hey, like
was originally drafted by the Niners.
Yeah, and Greg Roman coached it, and Jim Harbaugh, and so I feel more comfortable with the offense in Trey Lance's hands than like Taylor Heineke, where like Heineke can run, but the fact that we can add an element of Trey Lance can actually use his athleticism, and his arm hasn't looked that bad. His arm, like before Trey Lance, it just looked like, oh, dude, like this guy can't even throw. But he's been throwing well, and I think it's just because
during that Hall of Fame game, he definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just Greg Roman. It works well with these athletic quarterbacks that don't really have like the best accuracy. Like he finds ways for them to make it easy. Like, okay, you read this and you either pull it, or if not, we'll have someone down the middle, and then you can just dump it off to them and stuff. So yeah, no, I feel more comfortable with Trey Lance as my backup than Heineke.
Speaking of quarterbacks with accuracy issues,
oh no,
Thursday, and we were talking about backup quarterbacks. Thursday we saw, or Thursday, Friday, whenever that game was, your boy Anthony Richardson went down, left the game, dislocated his pinky.
Man,
thank God for Daniel Jones, right? Like at the time, and it's crazy because we listed him as the second best overall backup quarterback to have after Kirk Cousins, and look at that, coming in a big spot in a preseason game, coming to save the game. Daniel Jones. I'm sure Richardson will be back. I mean, it's a dislocated pinky. It's probably hurt him a bit, but he'll be back for week 1. I'm assuming. But still, it's good to have at the very least.
Oh yeah, Daniel Jones did his thing,
Yeah, but I mean, we did see a lot from different teams. One thing I think, if I was looking, let me go back to this and look at it. That Cleveland Carolina game.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. Shedeur Sanders. That was a standout performance from Shedeur. A lot of the doubters, a lot of the naysayers, people who were like, yeah, of course he dropped down to the 5th round. Maybe he should have been drafted a little bit higher, but it works out pretty well for the Browns picking him up where they were able to draft him. But you got to be able to prove it. And granted, it's up against second stringers, third stringers, a little bit of first strings here and there, but he's doing what he needs to do. Now, am I super duper impressed? I am looking at it and going, well, it's the Carolina defense. And it's the Carolina defense, second stringers and third stringers and so on. So as the preseason continues, if he continues to get more reps and he's getting reps against the first teams, I'm sure it's going to be, there's, a lot more of a focus on Shedeur Sanders as the preseason goes on, whether or not he can unseat, I think it's presumed starter, Joe Flacco. I think there's a very good chance that he's going to be able to do that. But from a future standpoint, you're seeing things already that make you, if you are a Cleveland Browns fan, happy and excited. And the idea being like, if we can get through this season, if this time next year kind of thing, they're 1 year further down on the old Deshaun Watson contract. But was there elements of the Shedeur Sanders tape now that impressed you from the perspective of his game translating from college to the NFL?
I always liked Shedeur because he's just stood in the pocket. Like he was never afraid to stand in the pocket and just keep his feet set and deliver a strike. And he showed that in the preseason game. He was not afraid to just stay in the pocket. He trusts his offensive linemen. I know a lot of times when people see a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders, they think, oh, he's a dual threat type of quarterback. He's going to run around. Shedeur is more of a traditional pocket passer. Like he can run if he needs to, but he's not going to kill you with his speed. And I think that's one of the main reasons why he didn't do the combine at all, was because I don't think Shedeur is like that great of an athlete. Like I don't think he got, like his father's genetics in terms of being a pure athlete.
Yeah.
But he's a smart guy and he's a good football player. Like he got that from his dad. He got that from the genetics. And you saw it when he was reading the field. He made a nice tight throw into the end zone, which was very impressive. I don't care if that's against a backup corner. Like 9 times out of 10, that's getting batted down, but he placed it right on the money. So yeah, no, Shador looked absolutely terrific. And it kind of reminds me of like Russell Wilson in Seattle many years ago when he was doing the preseason, and everyone was just like, "Hey, this guy Russell Wilson, he's pretty damn good compared to that one. Who did they sign? I can't remember. I know he was an LSU quarterback. I wish Romeo was here. He wouldn't remember his name. They signed Matt Flynn.
Yeah.
His backup. Matt Flynn. Seattle signed him to this big contract. He was going to be the starting quarterback, and then Russell Wilson just lit it up in the preseason. I think Shador, he has a couple more chances to kind of prove himself, and show that, like, hey, he could be, a good starter for you in the NFL. Worst case backup, but
yeah, I mean that's something that they desperately need. So having that, and especially with the contract situations that they have to deal with, it's good. It's a very good thing to have. Let's do a quick hit on a couple other interesting pieces of news. Running back world, we have James Cook returning to practice on Tuesday. He's got that contract. It was a holdout. Now it's more of a hold-in situation where he's at the facility. He's doing things. He's just not on the practice field in preseason games. But now he is practicing again. But the contract negotiations are still ongoing. Honestly, Buffalo, he's the second most important offensive piece that you have. Like offensive skill position player besides Josh Allen, that's somebody you got to get paid. And I get that the running back market is what it is in 2025, but part of what helps Josh Allen do Josh Allen things is James Cook. Like there is something to be said for a running back who is not like he's not a plotter. He's not a downfield just bowling ball kind of guy. He's not his brother, Dalvin Cook. But what Dalvin did very well as a receiver, James Cook does very, very well as a receiver. And having him just be able to be that 1-2 punch on the ground with Allen, and then you have Ray Davis behind, it's really important. So having that guy, got to get him signed. Meanwhile, Chargers running back news, Najee Harris is back. Mm-hmm. Najee Harris is back doing drills. Amari and Hampton, don't get too comfortable there. Don't get too comfortable there, huh?
It's going to be a running back committee. We know this. Like people need to understand the whole point of why we have 2 big ass running backs is so that way when it's the fourth quarter, go ahead, try to tackle down both of them. That's pretty much it. Like that's why I've been telling people, dynasty wise, draft Omari and Hampton. But if you're in like a redraft league or an auction league, do not go all in on Omari and Hampton. Like Hampton is like someone that you draft and then you just keep on the bench, and then you kind of keep his status looking. But Najee Harris is going to take away all. Like I think Hampton will get the yards. It's the touchdowns. Harris is going to steal the touchdowns because Harris in the goal line is going to eat those up and stuff. But yeah, no, that's what I've been telling people. But I'm glad Najee Harris can see out of his eyes. That's good.
It's an important thing for a running back. Got to have that ball carrier vision, am I right?
Yeah, shit. Yep, very important to have that.
But also in contract news, we have Cam Hayward, who is looking to want a raise, and so he says he's open to sitting out regular season games. The defensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the core strengths of the Steelers has been their defense, and one of the core pieces of that defense has been Cam Hayward. So you want to, I mean, if he's willing to sit out regular season games, or he's threatening to sit out regular season games if he doesn't get that raise, that could be pretty concerning for the Steelers. What's your concern level over there at Acrisure? It's Acrisure, right? Acrisure Stadium. But yeah, what's your level of concern there when it comes to Cam Hayward wanting a raise?
2 out of 10, they're gonna get it done. Like there's no concern. Like it's definitely like, hey, look, if Cam Hayward doesn't play, yeah, it's a huge blow to your defense. But Tomlin, he's going to be. I just confused the Steelers.
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, yeah. Tomlin, he is just going to just be like, all right, we'll win or without you, and stuff like that. That's it. That's it. Like
you think when Cam Hayward texted him about like I'm willing to miss actual games, You think Mike Tomlin sent him back the video of Mike Tomlin doing the "We don't care"?
I think he just gave him a thumbs up emoji. He just gave him a black thumbs up emoji, saying, "Yep, here you go. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know."
But with players saying they're willing to sit out for money, players saying that they're ongoing negotiations like Cook, players coming back like Najee Harris, there's still some players that are not on the field for injury reasons. So first we have Jordan Love. He's getting surgery today to repair a ligament injury in his left thumb, but he says he'll be back for the season opener. So that's, I guess, something to pay attention to. But I mean, it's not his throwing hand, so you could tape it up. You could roll with the punches. You can get that going. You have Niners wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. He's targeting week 6 for a regular season return, and that was an ACL MCL injury. So even if he does come back by week 6, it's still going to be a ramp up before he's able to fully get back to Brandon Ayuk status. And the Niners sorely need wide receiver help. Like we talked about it when we covered the AFC and NFC West. They have a very easy schedule, but who's going to be catching the ball? Like, and yes, maybe it's not going to be much of an issue because you got Christian McCaffrey back, and it's McCaffrey as McCaffrey. Yeah. But in the off chance it's not McCaffrey or
still need a receiver.
Like it's you still need a chart. Like, and if I remember right, with Juwan Jennings has got some hamstring injury or issues. So really, right now, like if a game was being played right now, it's Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing, and Jordan Watkins. And that's not really that big of a trio that strikes fear into the heart of a secondary, which allows them to come up and cover the George Kittles and CMCs of the world that much more. Now, Ricky Pearsall, did a great job coming on towards the end of the season, but man, they really got to get Ayuk and Jennings back. So hoping that works out for them. Meanwhile,
I'm not concerned because Shanahan, like, who thought years ago when he had Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Juwan Jennings out there that we'd be like, oh my God, we're afraid of these guys. Like, Shanahan knows how to get these guys open, and you still have Kittle who's going to take away like cover 2 from the opponents. So like, just all those guys are just athletic freaks. Like, especially Pearsall, we didn't really get to see it. Because like that was the big reason why they drafted him. He was pretty much like, okay, Deebo Samuel, you want to like, we don't know what's up with your future. We'll just draft your replacement, which Pearsall is. He's Deebo Samuel. He's pretty much Deebo Samuel. Not as strong as Deebo Samuel. Maybe he is because he did get shot and he played football. So like he's probably stronger mentally than Deebo Samuel. But he's pretty much Deebo Samuel. He's like what Deebo Samuel was when Deebo was younger. So. Yeah, no, I think they'll be fine. I'm not too concerned with Shanahan when it comes to receivers. He seems to scheme them open all the time.
It's within the scheme. It's easy for players to get open and easy for players to make plays. The question is, will the talent be there enough to catch the ball and then be able to get upfield? And that's really the name of the game. And luckily, they do have that easy schedule, so it's working in their favor. Team that
we're facing the Panthers. What are we going to do with that Brandon Ayuk?
a team that doesn't have an easy schedule and has a bit of an issue is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Landon Dickerson undergoing a minor procedure on his right knee. They say he's going to be week to week. The goal is to start the regular season, but knee issues, they can linger a little bit, especially with the trenches and getting rolled up on and all that kind of fun stuff. And Landon Dickerson is a key piece of that Eagles offensive line, like real key piece. So getting him back and getting him healthy going to be really important. And last but not least, my goodness, Lions safety Maurice Norris. Did you see what happened with the Falcons game?
That was a scary injury. That was a very scary injury, and credit to the both teams just wanting to Raheem Morris though. I'm sorry for laughing, but Raheem Morris looked absolutely confused what was going on, and I was just like, dude, did you not just see someone literally like almost like died out there? Like, and he's just like this on the sideline, like, huh, what's going on? Why are we just standing there? Right? I called this play right here. They're just not running it. And I was just like, oh yeah, no, that was bad.
And I would like to get your thoughts on this. I don't know if you've seen this. Hopefully,
I have, yes. But what are the thoughts on it? Like,
Did you know there's parts of the country that don't do tomato soup with grilled cheese?
That's probably true about a lot of places. We're just weird and have some crazy combos.
I feel like grilled cheese tomato soup is elite.
Well, like, don't they not like they don't put cheese on pizzas in Italy, right? Isn't it just the sauce?
We're talking about our country. Yeah, in the United
our
States. I'm not talking about other countries.
No, I understand that.
Why'd you bring up Italy?
Because I'm saying we put cheese on our pizza. They don't.
I'm pretty sure you can get the cheese pizza.
Not the argument.
But
The
they,
argument was parts of our country do different things, and then all of a sudden you bring up Italy.
oh, you're saying inside of our own country?
Yes, that's what we're saying. Or at least I feel like I've seen that on Instagram.
Well, then what are they eating grilled cheese with?
That's what I'm saying.
It'd be crazy if you're
By
just
itself.
eating a grilled
Eat it by
cheese.
itself.
Imagine just eating a grilled cheese.
That's what they do, I guess. I don't know.
So for starters,
the autism level on Joel, that's a franchise tackle. Love it, man. I love it.
so for starters,
All pro, a white boy that just doesn't understand anything. Notre Dame education coming through. That's my franchise left/right tackle, whatever side of the ball. He's amazing.
for starters, the fact that he just couldn't really understand the conversation, hilarious. But
Yes,
where do you stand on grilled cheese and tomato soup?
that's a great combination. But I feel like you can have a grilled cheese sandwich by yourself. I don't see how you.
That's what I was saying. Like
Yeah.
part of the video is they're like, how do you have a grilled cheese? Like, just imagine eating grilled cheese by itself. It's like, yeah,
No, you can have like grilled cheese. Like I feel like you could just make it by itself. You don't have to. I mean, it does taste good. Like I don't think it's just tomato soup. I think you can have a great
any soup.
Yeah, any soup, like a clam chowder or like a chicken soup. Like it goes good with any soup. It's like a great combination. Yeah, the tomato soup is the elite combination because you can dip the grilled cheese in tomato soup and you get it's kind of like having like a cheese pizza in a sense with the grilled cheese and the tomato soup combination. But yeah, I've had plenty of grilled cheeses by myself. Like that's like the go-to. Like I don't feel like cooking anything type of. Well, you have to cook it, but it's super easy to make. Like a 5-year-old can make a grilled cheese sandwich. Like you just tell them, all right, butter both sides of the bread, Timmy. Put the cheese in there, put it in the pan, wait 3 minutes, flip it over. Oh, good job, Timmy. You flipped the cheese. Now wait 3 more minutes. All right, don't burn yourself. Put it on the plate. Good job, Timmy. You did it. So.
No, the other reason why I think this is funny is because you and
Herbert
I
got pissed.
Well, yes, Herbert got pissed, but
he was like, oh, why'd you bring up Italy? I'm like, Jesus, not that serious, Jay Herbo. Come on.
Part of the reason why I do think this is funny is that we'll take a little peek behind the curtain. You and I do tend to chat for a little bit after we finish doing these shows, and I remember you telling me a story about you and I forget the exact context, but you were looking after a child and you were teaching them how to make grilled cheese. So just the fact that I
taught her how to cook eggs.
But you were talking, yeah, right. But then we were talking about grilled cheese and like cooking grilled cheese. So like the idea that a few short months later there would be something Chargers related that is also grilled cheese related. Just I was like, what serendipity at its finest.
Yeah, no, I babysit my friends' kids. I don't know why they trust me with them. A lot of the time, like I just kind of like watch them kind of be kids. They go like, some of them call me Uncle Chase. Some of them just say like, they just say, hey Chase, can you do this? And I teach them good habits and stuff. But like my one friend's kid says she was hungry, and I was like, yeah, your parents are not going to like me ordering fast food for you at this night. And so I said, here, I'm going to show you how to make eggs. And she goes, make eggs? You're going to make me eggs at night? I'm like, well, it's the simplest thing to make, and you can do it. So she was excited because she could do it. So she cracked the eggs and stuff. I taught her how to do the salt and pepper. I used the vegetable oil because I don't know. I don't get yelled at for a kid eating buttered eggs at night or something. Like, I don't know. So they made it with vegetable oil. But yeah, she did a good job. And then she made it from I'm friends with the husband. So made it for her dad. And then the dad texted me saying, you taught my kid how to make eggs. She made me eggs this morning. They were actually pretty solid. I was like, yeah, she was hungry, and I didn't know. I didn't want to order DoorDash, and I didn't want to bug you guys. So, yeah, I just taught her. So, Chase
Oliver shaping the youth of the future.
Yeah, dude, I teach them useful stuff, man. Like I get them to clean their rooms and stuff. I play music for them. I know how to do. I'm good with kids and stuff. Like I know I just do my own thing. Like I'll be the cool uncle, but then like I can be strict uncle and they respect me for it. Like they'll like I'll be like, no, your mom and dad won't let me do that and stuff. Like you can't pull the wool under my rug. You can't just because you're a kid. You're like they're smarter than we think. You know, a lot of people say kids are dumb idiots. I think they're the smartest human beings in the world. They know how to trick us doing a bunch of stuff, man.
Well, there's a lot of teams that we're going to talk about here that have a bunch of rookies or NFL kids that need to be shown the ropes and shown how to do things. So let me ask you, you want to start with AFC North or NFC North?
I feel like the AFC North,
both, like either way, it's it's a good discussion. So
I think the AFC North, because NFC North there's more randomness. AFC North, I feel like, Browns, like we don't have too much to talk about there. But the NFC North, I feel every team in the NFC North is a potential contender of making the playoffs compared to the AFC North where there's 2.5 teams that are contenders to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Two teams that are contenders to be a Super Bowl, while the NFC North, like I feel all 4 teams you can make an argument that, yeah, they could be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
That, for I think one of them has a much weaker argument comparatively, but we'll definitely get into that. So let's talk about the AFC North and let's talk about
real quick, John. I have a redraft question for you.
You have what?
A redraft. So I got the number 1 overall pick in my big money fantasy league. I'm taking Jamar Chase. Like that's automatic. Now, I don't. So the draft is August 30th.
Okay.
I don't know who to pick on my back-to-back. It's a PPR league. I'm trying to think of my back-to-back snake. I highly doubt Brock Bowers. Like in normal leagues, Brock Bowers would probably still be there, and I would pick him. But there's a bunch of Raiders fans in this league, so Brock Bowers is gonna get overdrafted and stuff. And I had him last year, so I'm trying to think, who do I draft?
So
the rest of the draft, I kind of have an idea.
10 or 12?
10.
Oh, even more interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so so first 10, one of those 20. So gotcha. So we're talking right around that 21, 22 spot.
Yeah. I would preferably like to get. See, I want to try to get Joe Burrow to stack with Jamar Chase, but then the problem with Burrow is he does have the injury concerns and stuff. I would still go Burrow. I
would either go Burrow or Bucky Irving.
See, this league doesn't draft running backs as high, so I'm looking for another. So I'm looking at like.
Hold on. If they're not drafting running backs that high, that means there's probably
Saquon will go.
No, I'm thinking of Devin Achane.
See, I had Achane last year, and he was too frustrating. And the way Ollie Gordon looked
season. Yeah, Ollie Gordon looked great, but that's going to be more of like a goal line, short yardage, red zone.
He's going to steal Achane's touchdowns.
Yeah, but this is a PPR league. How many passes? Like think about how many passes Miami's going to do, and then think about the fact that Jonnu Smith isn't there. Yeah. Then think about the fact that like Jalen Wright is not really a threat to Achane.
Do you think Waller will take away like? We'll get the
Waller's got to get back into football shape, and then he's got to learn a brand new scheme and playbook.
Well, most of the Dolphins' playbook for the tight ends is just stand there, and then you'll get the tight end screen.
I mean, that's true, but I mean at the same time,
I'm trying to think because like so.
Romeo was there in the chat.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Romeo. I knew it was Matt Flynn. His name was escaping me because so Burrow makes sense, right? Like I'm not crazy for drafting Burrow high because like. To pair up Burrow and Chase, that's like great fantasy points right there.
So full disclosure, in the one redraft league that I have, that's like the closest to being a home league, like my main redraft league, and it's one that I've been in with a bunch of army buddies of mine for years. Like this is probably close-ish to 10 years. Not last year, but the year before and the year before that, I had Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So like I'm not averse to taking both of them. This time, the only reason why I didn't do Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow is because Jamar Chase was drafted before me. And so I ended up I think I got Puka in the first round and no. No, sorry, because I was towards the back. It was a randomized draft and Saquon
should I go crazy?
Saquon fell to like 10 or 11 because people were concerned about Eagles rushing and Jalen Hurts vulturing touchdowns. So I got Saquon in the first round, and then in the top of the second, I got Puka Nacua, and then I got Joe Burrow as a quarterback in the third. So yeah, I'm not. I get the idea of like that second round pick going high for Burrow, but at the same time,
Well, it's back to back. It
insane.
doesn't matter. I get Joe Burrow regardless because I get back to back on the
No. I get that, but I'm saying like the opportunity cost of taking Burrow versus somebody else, right? Like because case in point, I'm looking at Fantasy Pros, their PPR rankings right now, and like right in. So this is who they have from 17 to say 25, right?
Okay.
So that'll be the range of where you are. And I'm going a little bit higher because you're saying that running backs are they fall a little bit.
How would you feel about Gibbs if Gibbs is still there?
If Gibbs is falling to the second round, even in a 10-man league, that's insane.
Yeah, I know. Well, it could happen.
Okay, all right. Hold on a second. If Gibbs falls to the second round, you're taking you take.
Yeah, no, I'll take him.
Absolutely take him.
The players that are absolutely like if they're there when I'm picking.
Wait, what wide receiver are they drafting before Jahmyr Gibbs?
Oh, dude, they
this
league loves wide receivers.
Like I understand like, one being Jamar Chase, 2 being CeeDee Lamb, 3, being Saquon Barkley. I can understand like the idea with some of these wide receivers. I could understand Malik Neighbors sneaking up. I could understand somebody like Justin Jefferson falling just enough because like there's 1 or 2 people who's like, I don't know, with JJ McCarthy, right? And we're gonna get into both of these, the Bengals and the Vikings. But like I can understand Jefferson, but like I can't see enough wide receivers falling where Jahmyr Gibbs, because in order for you to get Jahmyr Gibbs, that means roughly, because if you said you have one, that means 20 picks had to happen or 19 picks had to happen.
It's possible. Because Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Lamar get picked really high.
If there's hold on, what's the buy-in on this league?
1,000.
Okay, if there are people taking Patrick Mahomes $1,000 buy-in league next year, you are inviting me to this league because this is in essence free money for you, and I don't appreciate that. What are we doing?
I got the first pick, so I'm very happy. I didn't suck this. I made the playoff. I made the playoffs last year. We randomize it every year, so I got lucky. I was very happy because my goal in every fantasy league this year is please just give me Jamar Chase so that way I could just not have to think about like who my best. And I love watching Jamar Chase play football, so and stuff. Yeah, a funny story. So I told people about this league last year, but my ex-girlfriend, she has a league. It's called Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And so they have a bunch of girls that play fantasy football, and they invite one token guy every year. But the guy, me being the guy, we have restrictions on who we can add to the roster. They can choose one player every year, and they can bench them and stuff. So last year, I had Saquon Barkley on my bench for most of the damn year, and it sucked really, really bad. So I actually won the championship, won the league, won $300. Thank you so much. And this year she invited me back, but she said, you know what? Since you were a good sport last year, we'll remove the restrictions. And she gave me the #1 overall pick. So in 2 leagues, I'm going to have Jamar Chase so far.
Well, sir, I mean, now we're talking.
Yeah, well, because like I was a good sport. I didn't complain about anything. I followed the rules. I followed the rules, and I snuck into the playoffs, and my team kicked ass all the way through. Like, I'm sorry that like my team showed up in the playoffs. Like, I can't help it that I did well, and I got lucky with some waiver wire pickups and stuff like that. For me, I'm just hoping that certain players fall. It's just because like having the #1 pick, it's cool in redraft, but it sucks at the same time because that back end, that's where it could kill you. The 2nd and 3rd round picks is really what kill you. Yeah. And like your later round picks, it doesn't matter as long as you can kind of like get the guys that you like and stuff. Like I'm hoping RJ Harvey's still somewhere in the later rounds.
He should be.
And so yeah, I've done a couple practice drafts on ESPN, and some teams I fell in love with. Some teams I'm like, oh, like I don't know if I really like it.
Well, so funnily enough, there's a year where between ESPN, I think I've mentioned this to you before, briefly, like a while ago. There was 1 year where between ESPN, Yahoo, and NFL, I think I had 35 leagues.
Yeah, you told me about this.
Because basically what happened was I was going to do a bunch of mock drafts, and then I said to myself, but what if I really like the team that I get, and then I don't get to keep it because it was just a mock draft?
Mhm.
So one year I found out, I think it's like 32 teams is the max you can have on ESPN. And then I had, I think, 1 or 2 Yahoos and 1 NFL. So yeah, no, I'm with you there with the mock draft thing. But funnily enough, I have there's a trade offer in one of my dynasties where I give up Jamar Chase. I get back T. Higgins, a 2026 first and a 2027 first. And I'm like, that's still not really enough for Jamar, which is a wild sentence to say. But I mean, like, I've also seen trades involving Justin Jefferson for 3 firsts and things like that. So
he or Jefferson are the best receivers in the league. I lean towards more Chase. Like, Jefferson's amazing, but Chase is just like,
because I think the difference is that Jefferson is that he's that you get the ball to him like maybe 10, 15 yards downfield, and then he takes it for another 30. Whereas Chase is like just that boundary dominant wide receiver where it's like he can box out and battle literally any cornerback in the league, including the Derek Stingleys, the Surtains, the Sauce Gardners. Like he can win those one-on-one.
Surtain's that good against him.
No, I know, but I'm saying like in a if you took that matchup 10 out of 10 times or 10 games out of 10 games, Chase is going to still do well against Surtain. Like it's not Surtain just happened that day to play very well. So yeah, they are definitely different receivers, and I can understand why somebody would like Chase over Jefferson for sure. Like it's completely Okay, Romeo, we get it. But you know who doesn't have either of them? The New York Jets. So when it matters in football, real football, then you don't got either of them. All right, it's okay.
He had like a young Jamar Chase too. You know what's funny too? Justin Jefferson wasn't even rated that high when he got to college or anything. Like no, I mean when I say this, like people will call me crazy, but Romeo can kind of even attest to this. Freaking there was Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and there was that third wide receiver. He played for the Panthers for a little bit. He was getting more shine than
Marshall?
Yeah, Terrence Marshall. Terrence Marshall was getting more shine than Justin Jefferson. Like commentators wouldn't shut up about Terrence Marshall and stuff like that. Like they loved him and stuff. So that's why I'm like, like people will revision history that great dominant LSU team a lot. But I always tell people, if you remember. Yeah, Justin Jefferson was kind of the third guy.
I was about to say, I remember Romeo talking about how he loved Marshall, but it didn't pan out in the NFL. So that's why, like, when you were talking about like who's the third, I was like, the name that popped in my head was like probably Marshall.
Because like people forget, like people will revision history, be like, wow, Jefferson and Chase. I was like, bro, Jefferson was like the third dude on that team. It was Terrence Marshall, Jamar Chase, and then Justin Jefferson. Jefferson just ended up becoming really good. And
I mean, I will say though that LSU team, the embarrassment of riches that they had. But it is interesting to see who pans out in the NFL and who doesn't, because if I remember right, that's the same LSU team that had Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Andy Reid didn't trust in them. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean that's also a sign of how quickly things can change in the NFL and how quickly like you draft somebody, you think it's going to be great, and it doesn't pan out. So a great way, that's actually a weirdly great way to transition to talking about the AFC North, because last year on paper, this is a division that should have sent 3 teams to the playoffs. And at least if there were only going to be 2 teams that went to the playoffs, you thought one of them was going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. But let's recap real quick their season. You have Cleveland coming in 3-14, kind of not that much of a surprise to anybody. I mean, maybe the win-loss total, but the idea that 1, they would be dead last, and 2, they would have single-digit wins, and the lower single digits was not that much of a surprise. Deshaun Watson in 23 looked like kind of a shell of himself, and coming into 23, and then 24, it didn't really improve. And you could argue that over time, he became so much of a detriment to the team that by the time he did re-injure himself and go on season-ending IR, it was one of the best things that could have happened for Cleveland, just from a locker room perspective. Because you can argue that he's a terrible human being, and you can say he's a complete shitbag and all that kind of stuff. But this is the NFL. If you put up points on Sundays, on Thursdays, on Mondays, teams and fan bases will find ways to excuse whatever it is that you did.
Yep.
Here, he could not do that. So it was the added layer of that. Now comes in Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is not the world's best quarterback, but what he can do is entertain a fan base. And we got some great shootout battles. There was that Cleveland Broncos game. I mean, that one definitely sticks out in my mind. But then you also had just their battles with the AFC North. But ending up with a 3-14 record doesn't surprise anybody. But then you move to third place, and it's Cincinnati Bengals at 9-8. And you're thinking to yourself, well, 9-8, like maybe that's, good enough for a playoff spot. And they just missed it by very, very little. Some people argue that the Chief, part of the reason why the Chiefs sat the starters is because if the Broncos won, the Broncos got that final wild card spot over Cincinnati because of Cincinnati's win over Denver, and that.
Oh, that's why they're clearly. I agree with that. Like, if you're the Chiefs, it's like, because let's be real, the Bengals, they would have entered the lower seed facing Buffalo and stuff.
Yeah.
If you're the Chiefs and you're looking at it, hey, we have the top seed. We will have to play Buffalo or Baltimore either way. But if there's a team that we feel like could compete with Buffalo and beat Buffalo, we don't want to see the Bengals in the second round. Are you kidding me? Fuck that. Like, we would take our chance. Like, because if you're the Chiefs, you're looking at Houston, Los Angeles, and Denver. You feel confident that you're going to beat those three teams.
I understand that you're just saying this to try to hurt me as a Broncos fan. Okay, I get that. All right. But first off, fuck you. And second off, no, that's not what happened. What happened was those idiots thought that they were going to rest. I mean, yes, there's a certain element of we don't want to see the Bengals, but also they have to rest their starters because they already were a banged-up team coming into the playoffs. It was a healthy mix of both. But the idea that they did it solely because they didn't want to see the Bengals, I'm always going to disagree with that because just how banged up that Chiefs team was. And we saw it throughout the playoffs and we saw it throughout the regular season. But Cincinnati could not get stops on defense.
Yeah,
we covered this.
They lost a lot of games. They
lost a lot of games because, it was a situation where that it wouldn't even have mattered if Kansas City played their starters because they were leaking points against Denver. Like Denver, it really turned into a shootout. And you got to give credit where credit is due. Joe Burrow tried to put that team on his back and pull it alongside Jamar Chase, alongside T. Higgins and Chase Brown. And there was only so much that he could do when a defense is allowing 30 to 40 points on a sort of weekly basis. So coming in at 9-8, we have the Bengals. That turns us to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers had what a roller coaster of a season, and a roller coaster that is a boring roller coaster, but still finds ways to annoy you if you are a Steelers fan. You have Russell Wilson. Doesn't start the season because of the injury. He is replaced as a starter for the first couple weeks by Justin Fields. Justin Fields doesn't really light it up, but he is playing competent enough that the Steelers' defense, that Iron Curtain defense, is able to come in and shut teams down. They benefit from a relatively easier schedule. One of the games they played was against the Broncos when Bo was getting acclimated. Great way to pick up wins. Not knocking it whatsoever. When you can only play the teams that are put in front of you by the schedule makers. Yeah. They won those games. Then Russell Wilson comes back, and so you could argue that Russell actually hurt the team more than Justin Fields was hurting the team with some of his more erratic plays, simply because of Russell Wilson cannot throw the ball unless it's downfield on sideline passes or behind the line of scrimmage passes. And it really, I'm not trying to talk about the Broncos that much, but it made me feel better about all the people that were saying Russell was not the problem. But the Steelers make it to the playoffs with a 10-7 record and promptly lose in the playoffs, as is their custom, which leaves us with the division champions, the defending division champions, because they were the division champs in 23, the Baltimore Ravens. And man, the Baltimore Ravens were destroying teams. Like, I don't know if there's any real way to put it other than they were destroying teams. And sure, they had a couple close calls, like some of those games with Cincy. Yeah. But at the same time, the majority of the time that they were playing, they never really felt like they were going to lose games. They lose that Chiefs game simply because Isaiah Likely's foot is slightly away from where it needed to be. Like some when their losses happened, it was like, yeah, I can understand, like some ridiculous shit happened. But a lot of people were intrigued, but also concerned about the addition of Derrick Henry to the Ravens team, simply because the idea was Lamar Jackson runs the ball so much. Will Derrick get the opportunities? Very similar to Saquon and Hurts in Philly. They had very similar trajectories where people were either downgrading the running back because of the quarterback or downgrading the quarterback because of the running back. But similar to Philly, the Ravens showed that there are ways to make that work. And lo and behold, if you have two bruising guys who can both run the ball, it's very easy to play ball control offense, and you don't have to worry about the fact that behind Zay Flowers, you don't have shit catching the ball except for Isaiah Likely and of older Mark Andrews, who definitely took a step back last year, and Isaiah Likely took a step forward as the starting tight end going forward.
There we insult Rashad Bateman. He had a good year.
Okay, all right. Well, you know,
he played well.
I'm not saying he played poorly. I'm saying that from a danger perspective, you're not thinking, "Oh, Rashad Bateman."
Don't worry, D-Hop is there now. Passing game's wide open.
So let's start with the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns, you know, a lot of changes, a lot of fun little changes here on this team.
Are they fun?
Well, hey, you were just over Shador, all right? You were
no, I love Shador, but I'm talking about is everything about him fun and stuff.
But this is a
the
team.
Wrist. We're Shador on this. Man, put him QB1.
I took this screenshot today, so you know, we'll see what happens.
They're
but
haters.
This was a team that, to try to solve this quagmire of a QB situation, they decided to make it murkier by first trading for Kenny Pickett from Philadelphia, then signing Joe Flacco as a free agent, and then in the draft, in the third round, taking Dylan Gabriel. And people thought, wow, one, they thought Shador would be picked there at least because he was tumbling, and then two, okay, like that's something you can work with. But then they doubled down on quarterback picks by taking Shador in the fifth. But that's not the only move that they made. David Njoku starting to get up there in years. You can see it says 17 there. So this will be his 8th year in the league, and he's had some injury concerns. They pick up Harold Fannin Jr. in the third round. But on defense, you could argue that the Cleveland Browns, their biggest strength is been the defense for the past few years, and they needed to kind of reload that defense. So you can see they brought in some free agents, but the first round of the second round pick, that's where a lot of people were intrigued by who they got. They pick up Mason Graham, Michigan. They get Carson Schweissinger. This is a defense that is starting to get a little bit older, starting to age a little bit. They need to keep getting refreshes, but a concern is going to be this offense. And the question, I guess, is from this roster to you, does this seem like, how many of these people on offense do you really see going forward? Because yes, they get Quinshon Judkins, but this is a situation where Judkins is probably not going to be the starter on a week one. And you can argue that for Jerome Ford, Dylan Sampson is coming up right behind him. So my question here is, this defense looks on paper like it can last enough time for someone like Shador to fully take the reins and for them to get Deshaun Watson out of there and free up a lot of that money. Who from the offense, especially this season, that it looks like it's going to be a rebuilding, build for the future type of season, who are you looking forward to the most to say, okay, this is somebody that Cleveland can really build around when it comes to this offense?
Number 3, wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy. Because he had a great campaign last year with a murky situation. He looked really, really good. And I feel that's what you kind of need, is that good number 1 wide receiver. Judy's more of like an older school wide receiver. You know, everyone wants like that burner that can burn you down deep. Jerry Judy's more of a complete type of wide receiver. And that's someone that you need with your rookie quarterbacks, you know, whether it's Gabriel, whether it's Shador, whether it is Flacco who's returning to Cleveland, whether it is Kenny Pickett. Having a guy like Jerry Jeudy is very, very important. So I think Jerry Jeudy is someone that I'm very, very, like, I look at him like you can build with him and that rookie quarterback. But yeah, Dylan Sampson, like, 21 years old, youngest player in the draft, was a killer at Tennessee. Now, I think he's going. I think he, even if Quinshon Judkins is free of everything that he did, I think he overtakes Quinshon Judkins. Like, I like Judkins as a player, but Judkins, I know everyone played the college football game and they just hit the spin move with Judkins and they think he's like this amazing speedster. Judkins is more of a thumper type running back, just like he likes to run between the tackles. He's not really like this crazy like speedster type of guy. Like, he has speed, but it's not like crazy speed. Dylan Sampson, he's kind of a do-it-all, every type of back, and he can thump a little bit too. And plus with his age, that's something that you could have back there. So I think Dylan Sampson, but I do like Jerry Jeudy a lot. I think Jeudy has finally, it took some time for him in the league. He didn't pan out well in Denver, unfortunately for you, but in Cleveland, he's found a good home, and the Jets probably would like him. Too bad his Madden rating wasn't high enough, so why the trade was prevented.
I mean, I'm not like, I remember, I know Austin was trying to get on my case about Jerry Jeudy going to the Browns and all that kind of stuff, because I was a pretty staunch defender of Jerry Jeudy for a while there. And then that last season in Denver, it just was like, he really did seem mentally checked out. And that's not a knock against him. Like, Denver was going through growing pains, but there is a level of professionalism that should be shown. And I'll say that for anybody. It's not just specifically Jerry Jeudy. Yeah. So the trade happens.
He goes from Alabama. It's a great program. the process by Nick Saban, and then he gets Denver, and it's turmoil with Nathaniel Hackett. And then afterwards, that's Sean Payton, and he's not feeling Sean Payton's process of the coaching.
Hey.
And so
it is what it is. But what it is now for Jeudy is that it really does seem as though he's turned a corner on his mentality. Like, I remember the Hard Knocks in season and the parts with him. I was really happy to see those, because I was like, as a player, as a person, I'm happy for him to have had the growth and the personal development where he doesn't have to deal with whatever the issues were that he was dealing when he was in Denver. Like, and I'm glad that he got the contract that he got. That's more power to him. Get paid. So it is an interesting situation for the Browns. Romeo is here predicting another season of the Joe Flacco experience. If Shedeur keeps doing what he did, and again, like I said earlier, the fact that it's the Carolina defense, which already was harassed like crazy last year, but hey, if he can keep doing that, I'm sure more sooner rather than later, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders starting for games for the Browns. Because one thing we can say about Flacco, he's going to throw the ball, and he's going to make mistakes. That's just the hallmark of the Joe Flacco experience. And that fan base that has been starving for competent quarterback play has gone on for a very long time, and they are probably, from what I've seen from different Browns fans, they're pretty pissed off about this whole Deshaun Watson situation and how it really has backfired on them, particularly when you consider it's not just the fact that the contract that was given to Watson, it's what they gave up to get him in the first place, what they gave Houston. So when you combine both of those with the poor play, with the re-injury, it's like, damn, like I would not be surprised if Flacco, good or bad, is on a very short leash. But let's look at some of these games, and let's look at this from a rebuilding perspective. You start off pretty tough, like literally your division and the other division that we're going to talk about tonight. Like, you see NFC North or AFC North teams all the way until week 7. That's tough. And if I'm the Browns and I'm thinking about when I'm going to try to get Shedeur in, I'm going to try to hold out as long as possible. And as shitty as it sounds, I'm going to, for if you're a Dolphins fan, I'm circling that week 7 game.
Yeah, that's what I'm
going to try to be like, all right, Joe, you've done what you needed to do. You've gotten this kid as ready as we can get him for right now. Let's get him in. And then from there, I mean, you've got Dolphins. Patriots might be beatable. We don't know exactly what Drake May is going to look like. That offense is still new. They're going to be a run team, I think, and they're going to throw the ball, yes, but besides Stephon Diggs, how many wide receivers do they really have? Then you've got the Jets. Then you can test Shedeur against the Ravens. It's kind of easy. It's the easier schedule a little bit once you get past that opening stretch, but that opening stretch is killer. Yeah. So I guess what I wanted to ask you here about these games is, Shador Sanders, I think we're in agreement week 7. But my question to you is, what do you like if you are the Browns, do you target week 7, or do you say like maybe, hey, what if we just waited the whole year because we can get a better draft pick? We'll be pretty much done with the Deshaun Watson contract, because if I can let me just pull that up real quick.
They're not done. They won't be done until the following year.
No. I'm saying like that it'll be pretty
because the dead cap is still bad even next year what they cut him.
Yeah, the cap hit next year is going to be fucking. Oh my god, it's $80 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The following year they can cut him, and it's only like what, 30 million or something. Or
no. So this year it's 36 million. Next year it's 81 million, and then after 26 it's done. Like it's all void years. So like they can kind of try to accelerate it a bit. They can try to cut him and take, try to break Denver's record for the largest cap hit in a single season. But either way, like, would you even want to try to put Shador Sanders out there with this offense and be like, let's see what we got? And if you are, do you agree that it's that week 7 game?
Yeah, I could actually see them like they're getting their ass kicked by Pittsburgh, and then Shador comes in, and the Steelers are just playing cover 4, and they don't really care about like anything. And Shador has some nice passes, makes some good plays, gets a touchdown just to boost the confidence, and then he's the official starter week 7, and then we'll see where he goes from there. But I honestly, even with you, just want some hope at the QB position, and even like I get it that draft position, like the Browns. They do have the Jaguars pick, so it's not like for them. They're also paying attention to how Jacksonville does too, because Jacksonville stinks. They're looking at that saying, I guess we could win some games. Like it's okay and stuff.
Yeah, so right now, and granted, Tankathon is what it is, but right now they've got the Browns at number 2, and then they've got the Jags pick, which is like to your point, the Browns own it. They have that at 9.
Yeah,
and they have them taking Caleb Downs, your guy from Ohio State. And then Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle, Miami.
Solid picks. We'll see about Francis Mauigoa. I don't think he will be a first rounder by the end of this year, but I could be wrong. But yeah, no. I just think the Browns, like, they just need to build, because they kept Stefanski again for another year, which I liked, because I didn't blame all of that on Stefanski. He was kind of working with like a bunch of, like, the fact that he got. Like, he was competitive in games, and that's what you like to see, but you need to see actually winning games too. And I think Stefanski is a good NFL coach. I don't think he's a horrible head coach. If he gets fired, if one of the top Super Bowl teams aren't hiring him for offensive coordinators, you are absolute idiots. Like, like Kevin Stefanski doesn't fall into anyone's lap. Like, he'll be a great OC. Like, if Stefanski gets fired this year, wherever he goes as an OC, I will not be surprised if that team wins the Super Bowl within like the next 3 years or something, because he's implementing his offense. But I think they need to win some games, build confidence, and build confidence to Jor. Like, I feel a successful season for them, 6 wins. I feel like they should try to aim for 6 wins. Like, draft cap. You have 2 first-round picks. You can use both to move up to wherever you want. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Let's play that game. Let's play that game then. Where do you see the 6 wins?
Oh man, that's the hard part. Miami's a possibility. It's at home. Mm-hmm. Could be a little chilly for Tua. Might be cold for him. So Miami's possibility. Raiders.
That chilly. Raiders.
Tennessee.
3.
Chicago.
4.
Cincy. If Cincy's not competing for a playoff spot, like if they like if Cincy's resting their starters, they can win that game.
That's fair. It's 5.
And then, Detroit likes to lose a random game.
Oh, this guy loves giving Detroit random games.
No, they do. They like to
love that sentence. Detroit loves losing random games.
Yeah, like the Jets. Oh, did I say the Jets?
No, you did not say the Jets.
I'll say Jets.
I will say, if you're going to give the Bengals the loss, it would not be that Week 18 game.
Oh yeah, it could be
the Week 1 game, because the Bengals do historically start out slow,
and it is in the dog pound. So the Huntington Bank Field, the dogs will be barking and stuff. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
I predicted that too, and I got
did.
called a hater. Everyone called me a hater, and I was like, dude, I don't hate the Bengals. I'm just going based off history. I make my picks based off history stuff. So I'll say Cincinnati, Miami, Jets, Raiders, Titans, and Bears. That's their six. That's their potential six wins.
That's
Like
fair.
those are the 6 wins. I feel the Patriots going to Gillette. That's tough, and who knows? Maybe Drake May is really good, and then it's just like plus those Browns DBs, they love getting injured. Greg Newsom's always hurt. Denzel Ward's always has a concussion or two or something. Like I don't know. It's rough, but yeah.
And James, we did cover the AFC and NFC South. I think that was actually the first.
Yeah, sorry,
did.
James. We
So
were very negative in that video.
I would go back like maybe 2-3 weeks, and we covered the NFC South. But speaking of the team that you were maligning and saying always starts a little, can lose any game at any time.
I'm a man of a new feather. This team is my AFC Super Bowl representative.
Oh, wait, you were trying to give the Browns the Week 18 game, and you were saying if Cincy isn't playing for a playoff spot, and now
I didn't want to spoil it because they're going to be resting their starters because they'll have the first seed. They'll have the first seed locked up. They are going to the Super Bowl this year. The Bengals are making the Super Bowl this year. As much as it pains me because I don't want to see Joe Burrow win a ring for the Justin Herbert fan inside of me, I think the Bengals offense is too good. And I think that this team will outscore everyone. And I see this being like, it's very similar to Joe Burrow's senior year at LSU. I just feel something about this team, like something about the Bengals. I was sitting down debating, do I like the Ravens or the Bengals more? I'm writing off the Bills. I'm sorry. I love Josh Allen. I watched the first episode of Hard Knocks. He's a great guy, great leader. I love that guy as my quarterback. He's a great guy. I like it. I just think the Bills still lacking something. After watching those clips of Josh Palmer and Josh Allen trying to get on the same page, they're never going to be on the same page. Josh Palmer stinks. Did you see how he struggled trying to catch those balls? Like
I did.
This guy stinks. He's horrible. Like how did I pretend to like this guy for so many years on the Chargers? Like he couldn't catch a. Dude, did you see? He was catching like this. Motherfucker, catch you up like this. Like, why are you catching like this? Like, what are we doing?
It was a little rough. It was a little rough.
It wasn't rough. It was horrible.
And then I'm looking at it and I'm just like, all right, so Khalil Shakir, like late round, if he's available, draft him. I was just like,
yeah, Josh Palmer, yeah. I take back. And he was fucked up. I said, hey, Palmer, good guy to look at for fantasy. That redact that statement. That was the most horrible take I've ever said on this channel.
Even later rounds, if you don't get Shakir, Keon Coleman,
the Josh Palmer ass. But yeah, no, I the Bills, I think they're the second best team so my AFC team power rankings, I have the Bengals 1, Bills 2.
No, save that. We'll do that next week. That's what we should.
Oh, okay.
Because we'll finish with our region breakdown. We'll do power rankings. We'll do power rankings next week.
Can we do AFC and NFC? I hate doing overall. I want to just do AFC. Yeah, because I can't. I hate doing overall because then I'm like, I'm debating which teams are better. But yeah, no, the Bengals. Defensively, there is still some issues here. But if you look at this schedule, if they can get over their Bengal habits, if they can't, no, I'm serious. If they can get over these habits, this is a pretty damn good schedule because
can you change the stripes on a tiger?
Yeah, hopefully these tigers can be changed. But because the one thing that's very consistent in the NFL, third place teams in their conferences get those schedules and they go on runs. Most of those teams are Super Bowl teams the next year. The Chiefs are like the only anomaly.
I was about to say, so you're saying Denver's got a shot?
Yeah, no. If you're placed third, you get a pretty good schedule. Your only tough matchups are obviously your in division matchups. Yeah. But in the conference, you have to play these third place team conferences, your other ones, and besides like the NFC North teams, it's like but I Romeo, I know. No, I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl. I think this defense it's good enough in the playoffs. In the playoffs,
Let's take a look at this schedule.
look at this.
Browns, Jags, Vikings, Broncos, Lions, Packers, Bears. Oh my!
The first stretch is pretty tough, but after that, it's like, like you just have those late game matchups. Like the only thing that's
the problem is those 2 Ravens games.
Yeah, that's what's fucked up.
Being sandwiched in between.
Yeah.
That 13, 14, 15 stretch, that is where, to me, if Cincy does not already have a playoff spot locked, that's where they can lose a wild card spot.
Yeah.
Because if you come into week 13, let's say you're like 7-5, right? That's a pretty solid record, but 7-5. And then they'll have a bye week. So let's say you're 7-4.
Yeah.
And then you lose back to back games. Now you're 7-7. You can't afford to do that. Yeah, you're going to clean up at the end against Miami, Arizona, and the Browns again. Maybe the Browns, because you wanted to give them. Well, you said they were going to be resting starters, but you can't leave that. If they leave that week 15 game with either even wins, losses, or a higher number of losses than wins, they're done. I don't see how if they come into that the Dolphins game and they went from 6-5 to 6-8. I don't see an 8-9 team winning any kind of wild card spot. Not in the AFC.
Not in the AFC, but I am hopeful since he is done with their BS ways, and what I feel like is they'll be undefeated after the bye. They'll be undefeated.
Undefeated after the bye? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they'll be I look at Cleveland, they can kick Cleveland's ass. Jacksonville, come on. It's Jacksonville. They're going to outscore
Wait, you said undefeated after the bye.
Yeah, no, on the bye. Yeah, up to the bye. So once they get off the bye, they'll be 9-0. They'll be 9-0.
Oh, 9-0. All right.
Yeah. No, I think I look at this and I'm just like, man, they could beat most of these teams. I feel like they could beat and win these games. Detroit and Pittsburgh are the only games where I'm like, yeah, they might struggle there. But other than that, I feel like they could win.
Romeo brings up a very interesting point, because when we were covering quarterback season 2,
Zach Taylor.
We talked about Zach Taylor being a liability.
He's a great liability. He can call plays. He's just not a good leader. But if the Bengals are in a good, positive headspace, he can just be what he wants to be, a fancy play caller. A play caller with the title. That's it. I'm high on the Bengals. I look at the schedule. I think it's a very winnable schedule. I think they have a lot of games that they just need to get out of their own way. If the Bengals get out of their own way, they're one of the best teams in the NFL.
I will also say this, from a fantasy perspective, if you are, for whatever reason, you don't win the Jamar Chase sweepstakes, which, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to wish injury on anybody or regression on anybody, but things can happen. We saw what happened with people who took CMC first overall and so on and so forth. But the idea that if you don't get Jamar Chase, but you still want Bengals and you're not able to get Burrow or whatever, and you feel gun shy about T. Higgins, Chase Brown is the clear cut RB1 on this team. And not only that, Zach Moss is no longer there. Not only that, Taj Brooks and Samaje Perine are at best change of pace backs. And Samaje Perine's strength is being a receiving back, but Chase Brown already is a good receiving back. So the idea of losing snaps on third down, it's not as high for Chase Brown with the threat of Samaje Perine as it would be if it were looking at a different team and Samaje Perine was there. So if you're looking for, especially in PPR or even half PPR, Chase Brown is going to be a guy to look for in your fantasy drafts.
And this is the thing too. This team, especially because Romeo mentioned the hot seat head coach, the bad defense, really, really reminds me of those New York Giants teams that won the Super Bowl with Coughlin. Coughlin's on the hot seat. Time to get rid of this old man. He stinks. It's just the opposite. Where Coughlin had an inept offense and a great defense, it's reverse. Great offense, inept defense. Yeah, and so I just feel, even if the Bengals are a wild card team, I just feel they'll give a lot of playoff teams struggles. I do like the fact that they don't have to see the Chiefs at all this year. They get to avoid playing Kansas City and stuff. Like the Bills, that's a tough draw. You have to play the AFC East.
Are you intrigued, because you are more plugged in on college than me? Are you intrigued by the hire of Al Golden, because he was Notre Dame's defensive coordinator from 2022 to 2024?
Not really.
No.
Like,
Okay.
He's good at blitz design. Like, Notre Dame loves to blitz. We saw that in the national championship where they decided to leave Jeremiah Smith on a fucking island like idiots because they want the blitz. Like, he does great job designing blitz and getting after the quarterback and stuff. But, I'm just not a fan of a guy trying to fix a broken defense when he doesn't really have key guys that I think will work with the scheme. If that makes sense, but
yeah, no, it makes sense to me.
I don't blame Lou Romo. I blame the Bengals office for what happened to Lou Romo. What I'm saying?
Let's turn to the 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers, and if there was a team that had the most upheaval or the most intriguing upheaval, you have to think it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not only do they lose Russell Wilson, they gain Aaron Rodgers. They lose George Pickens, but they gain DK Metcalf. This is a offense that needed a juice at running back. You could argue between Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. They go and they draft Caleb Johnson in the 3rd round. Caleb Johnson was one of the – he wasn't like one of the best running backs graded out when it came to the draft, because a lot of noise was given for the Ashton Genties, the Travion Hendersons, the Quinshon Judkins of the world. But he was a pretty highly graded running back, and plugging him into the offense is really, like, for his style of running, it really fits what Pittsburgh likes to do and their offensive scheme and their run the ball mentality. So having somebody like him, really great. On top of that, they went and they traded Miami and they got Jonnu Smith coming in there. But the defense has always kind of been what it is. Part of that trade with Miami was they got Jalen Ramsey. They let why am I forgetting his name right now? Who they sent back? Minka, right? Minka Fitzpatrick. They sent Minka back to Miami, and they bring in Derek Harmon as that 1st-round pick to just help that defense be even more dominant, be even more lethal when it comes to turnovers, when it comes to bringing down quarterbacks. The question is, can this be enough to stop the Ravens offense? Because you have to argue, like you could argue that the Pittsburgh offense has definitely made improvements over what they were last year. Like you could argue, like maybe Pickens versus Robert Woods, like if they had just found a way to hold on to Pickens versus trading him to Dallas. But this offense definitely has taken a step forward. Aaron Rodgers, while older, is still way more qualified than Russell Wilson and way more versatile than Russell Wilson. And having a big receiver like DK Metcalf, great for those jump balls and things like that. The question is, can this, if the offense improves enough, is the defense enough to hold down the Ravens offense? Because that's really like, yes, you can argue the Cincinnati offense and so on and so forth, but like the Steelers have proved they can beat Cincy. They have not proved that they can beat the Ravens consistently enough when it comes to 2 times a year and potentially in the playoffs, because that's what happened last year. They got bounced out of the playoffs by the Ravens. So do you feel this roster as it's constructed right now, do you feel as though this has the capabilities of stopping that Ravens offense?
Sadly, no. That's a good team. It's just the Ravens seem like to be their kryptonite. TJ Watt, he was great at the start of last season and then kind of fell off. He fell off pretty bad last season.
Yeah. It is a weird. They are in like a weird kind of vortex, right? Where they consistently are winning enough games to flirt with the playoffs, but they are not losing enough games to have a better draft pick. And I know I harp a lot on draft picks and where you end up in the season, but like that really has a big impact, larger than people think, simply because if you are picking somewhere in that late teen, possibly early 20s range, because you made the playoffs as a wild card team or something like that, it's harder to trade up. And like some teams are good at finding that late first round talent, or it's just so plentiful of a draft, like we saw. We're going to talk about with the Ravens and Malachi Starks, or the Eagles and finding people. But like, it's hard to trade up and it's hard to move up, and sometimes it's hard to be the person that identifies that late first round talent that's just that much better. Like this has especially been true in a year this past draft where offensive talent, wide receiver wise, wasn't as high as the year prior. But the year prior, every single wide receiver that really was going to make a name for themselves was gone fairly early. Marvin Harrison's taken 4th. Malik Neighbors taken 5th. Rome Odunze taken 9th. Brian Thomas Jr. taken, I think it was 13th or 14th or something like that. Like, so it's hard to do. So having that draft pick and where that draft pick ends up, it can be really important. So let's take a look at their schedule and see what we anticipate for Pittsburgh this year. Now, they've got a little bit slightly different of a mix of teams because of how the schedule breaks out. Like, they get to face Seattle. They also get to face the Vikings in Dublin, which is wild of a sentence. But they are considered the home team for that one. So similar to your concerns or frustrations with being a Chargers season ticket holder but losing one of the home games, so too does that affect the Steelers season ticket holders.
Yeah, but I'm sure that the Steelers season ticket holders, that season ticket office, did a better job than what that did. So.
Hey man, you just got to bolt up, all right? So
here's your shitty T-shirt. The Raiders season ticket holders get some music box that plays the Autumn Winds, and it's all beautiful. And we just get a shitty Fanatics T-shirt.
It's a Fanatics experience. You're just living it.
It's not even Fanatics. It's like some fucking. I wish it was like Fanatics. This would be better quality than whatever the fuck they send us. They just put it on clearance on the fucking clearance rack when I go to the preseason game this Saturday. Saturday? Yeah, we played around Saturday. I'm going to that preseason game. Or tradition.
So looking at this schedule and thinking about the fact that last year the Steelers kind of snuck in there as a wild card team, do you anticipate that happening again for the Steelers this year?
I'm planting my flag now. I'm saying it here. This will be Tomlin's first ever losing season as a head football coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it might be his last year. It might be the last year of Mike Tomlin as a head football coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is as washed as people want to say. I think he's competent. I think he's competent enough. I just don't think that the offense under Arthur Smith is competent enough for Aaron Rodgers. Arthur Smith has been atrocious. Even during his time in Tennessee, he's been atrocious. We saw his failed stint as a head coach in Atlanta. He was atrocious there too. I just think that I look at the schedule and I'm like, the Jets, I could see them losing that game. The Seahawks, maybe this is a good Sam Darnold game. The Patriots, they could lose that game. The Vikings, they could lose that game. But what screws them over, the dreaded Week 5 bye. I think the worst bye week you could have in a long NFL season, and especially because it does hurt. It does hurt you if you're trying to trade for certain players, because certain players won't even have their bye week yet. They won't even have their bye week, and so pretty much it's just like, a player could get traded to the Steelers and not get an NFL bye week at all. They will just keep playing. They can play. So that's something. That's something you have to think of, because the Steelers could make trades to improve this roster.
Right.
But if you're, and keep in mind, players, they do have to agree to the trades. It's not like the players and the agents have to agree with that and stuff. If a player doesn't feel comfortable, like let's say if you're a player, you have one of these week 9, week 11 buys. The Steelers try to trade for you week 8. Now you lose a bye week. I guess your bye week is, hey, you sit out the game that you're supposed to get traded. But if you want to play right away and prove that you're good enough for them, bam. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, to me, I look at this schedule and I'm like, man, it's just a tough, sluggish schedule. There's so much slug fights here. Like the games where I'm like, okay, they'll beat the Chargers. They tend to do good against the Chargers, no matter what. We lost to the Duck kid. Remember, like Duck was the starting quarterback, and the Chargers lost to him.
It's Rudolph.
No, not Rudolph. It was Duck. Duck was the quarterback. Some guy named Duck.
Mason Rudolph's nickname is Duck. That's why.
No. It wasn't him. It was a different quarterback. It was Duck something.
Now I'm super intrigued.
The Chargers lost to this guy. Like we always lose to the Steelers. It's like depth taxes. Chargers lose to the Steelers.
Oh, Devlin Hodges.
Yeah, Duck.
Yeah, bro, that was like 2019, 2020. Whenever that
we lose to him. We still lose it. We lost to Michael Vick. Like I don't know what to say to you, John. We just lose to the Steelers. Doesn't matter. Like we just lose to the Steelers. Like the Colts, they could win that game, but I'm just looking at the schedule. It's just like, where's the win streaks going to come from? Where are they going to get 2 to 3? Where are they going to get 4 wins in a row? Like it's so hard to say that, like looking at the schedule, that the Steelers like are going to get 4 wins in a row.
Moly.
What?
I thought you were just joking around.
What?
So the Chargers and the Steelers have
we always lose to them.
They've played 36 times, including playoff games. The Chargers have 11 wins. The Steelers have 25.
Yeah, we lose to them. Like,
Lord.
I look, whenever I see the Chargers play the Dolphins or the Steelers, I just give it to those two teams all the time. And everyone goes, why, Chase? Why do you do that? Cleveland too. We always lose to Cleveland. It's just like it's like natural. We just lose to these teams. Well, we've kind of traded back with Cleveland, but definitely Miami and definitely freaking Steelers. We always get our asses kicked by them. It's just,
well, I will say this: since 2017, the Browns and the Chargers have played 5 times, and the Chargers have won all of them.
No, that's good.
You got that going for you.
Yeah, I think we broke that curse when we let the 0-14 Browns beat us on Christmas Eve. Embarrassing. But yeah, if you look at the schedule, you can't tell me like, oh yeah, Chase, they're going to have a 4-win game streak against the Packers, the Colts, the Chargers, and Bengals. Like, this is why I'm saying they're going to have a losing season. This is going to be a bad season for Pittsburgh. It's going to be a frustrating one. Honestly, I think the Browns could actually finish higher up than the Steelers. And it's not because the Steelers are a bad football team. It's that this schedule is a tough-ass schedule. And they have that week 5 bye. It's fucking early. And then not only that, they come off the bye, they go CBS. They have a Sunday game. But then a short week against the fucking Bengals? You're giving them a short week against the Bengals? Like, what?
Another primetime game against
it's just, I don't see how this team can be a winning team with this schedule. Like, this schedule is a rough schedule. Buffalo, Baltimore, Miami, Detroit, Cleveland, Baltimore. Like, if you are at the point where you're trying to fight for a wild card spot, you have to beat Buffalo, Baltimore, Miami, Detroit, Cleveland again, and Baltimore again. That's a tough stretch. The only benefit with the Dolphins game is that might be cold.
Here's the thing. Until proven otherwise, I'm willing to believe in Tomlin's dark magic. Like, the only thing I believe more strongly than Tomlin's dark magic is Andy Reid's dark magic. That's the only thing I believe, like, in the AFC is stronger than Tomlin's dark magic.
The difference is Andy Reid's dark magic wins multiple Super Bowls. Fucking Tomlin only won the one.
Hey, all Tomlin's doing with that dark magic is getting.
I'm sounding like a Steelers fan. How pissed I am at Tomlin.
His dark magic request is not Super Bowls and all that kind of stuff. His dark magic request is give me a winning season and I coach for 1 more year and I get paid. Like, that's the Tomlin dark magic.
It's over. It's over. Tomlin's over. Finally, I can stop looking at this guy. He's been my head coach. He's not my head coach. He's been a head coach since I was a freshman in fucking high school. This guy has been around since I was a freshman in high school. I am now 32 years old. This is how long this guy's been a head coach in the National Football League. We treat him like he's Bill fucking Belichick. And this guy only has 1 Super Bowl to his name. One Super Bowl. How many conference championship appearances has Tomlin made? Like 2? 3? 2 at most.
Oh, let's find out. Let's find out here.
Actually, it's probably only the one when he went to the Super Bowl. I don't think he's ever made another conference championship.
All right, so let's see. Super Bowl champions in 2008. Lost to Green Bay in the Super Bowl in 2010. So that's 2 conference championships. Lost to the Patriots conference championships in 2016,
Okay,
2016 playoffs. And that's it.
So 3 conference championships.
Yeah.
And we're treating him like he fucking Andy Reid. No, I think Tomlin. I honestly I do like this Pittsburgh roster. I think it's a good team. I think they'll do well. It's just the schedule sucks, and it's also going to be hard for them to trade for players. And
yeah, ironically, that championship game appearance is the last time they won a playoff game. Like getting to that championship game.
Treating him like he's Andy Reid.
So he hasn't won a playoff game since the 2016 playoffs.
You can go 9-8. It's okay, winning season.
Well, let's turn to the other long tenured coach in the AFC North.
Oh my
and
God.
The team that
get him fired too. I'm tired of him.
The only team that has a special teams coach as the head coach, the Baltimore Ravens. So the Baltimore Ravens, returning a lot of starters. Can't really complain there. They add in DeAndre Hopkins to help bolster that wide receiver core. They draft a guy in LaJohntay Wester. The jury's still out on him, but that's a 6th-round pick. If you can get something out of him, that's going to be great for them. They have 2 back-to-back first-round picks in Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman as their other wide receivers. And you could argue that Zay Flowers has had hit or miss in the sense that he does kind of what's needed to be done during the season. However, there will still be some weird decision making that he will have, or some weird fumble that he will have that ends up being a costly mistake for the team. From an offensive standpoint, you've got Isaiah Likely continuing to push old man Mark Andrews, who is now going to be on his 7th season in the NFL. And I know I think it's diabetes that he has, or something that he has, where he does the regular checks. So listen, Mark, make your money, but stay healthy. Like there's only so much that the body can take. Do what you got to do. But on defense, this is one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. And they are so good at swarming the point of the line of scrimmage, but more importantly, they are so good at once somebody makes a catch, coming up and making the tackle. We talked about that. I remember in that Buffalo playoff game, where Buffalo could not come up to make the tackle, but that is rarely a problem for the Baltimore Ravens, and they do it with the people that you see here on the screen. This is an incredible roster when it comes to defense, and they added to it by bringing in Jair Alexander, who has had, he's kind of taken a little bit of a step back there, but he's still a competent cornerback for the league. And that 1st-round pick, Malachi Starks, one of the highest rated safeties in the draft. And we can see that Malachi's, like we talked about during the draft itself, players just falling to teams, and teams being wise enough to make the choice and picking them up. And it's an embarrassment of riches, to see, because you can see, right there, 21 1st-round pick was Rashad Bateman. 22, it was Kyle Hamilton. 23, it was Zay Flowers. 24, it was Nate Wiggins. And now 25, Malachi Starks. They will spend those 1st-rounders on the defense more than they will spend it on the offense. But that's what you can do when you have somebody like a Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So for me, what I'm interested to see from you is, who do you think is going to be the liability? Because this is a team that is primed to get to at least the AFC Championship game and potentially the Super Bowl. So who do you think here is, especially out of these starters and these second stringers, because injuries are going to happen, who is going to be that kind of weak link, or the person that is going to end up being more of a liability for the team than a benefit?
Odafe always their only pass rusher. Everyone else, hopefully they can get to the quarterback. I mean, they need something out of Broderick Washington. They need something out of Brett Urban. Is David Ojabo ever going to be healthy enough to show the flashes that he showed at Michigan, being a dominant pass rusher? Is Tavius Robinson really that good? That's the one thing, man. They are literally just, when it comes to like the pass rushing, that's what hurts them, is they don't have that reliable, besides Odape Oweh, who's amazing. They don't have a reliable like sack getter across from him. And that's the liability of this defense. Back end of this defense, really, really good. You got the best safety in the league in Kyle Hamilton. I don't think that's even a debate. Like, he's the best safety in the league. Probably one of the best overall football players in the league is Kyle Hamilton. Like, I don't know if NFL has finished doing their top 100 players list or whatever, but if Kyle Hamilton's not like in the top 15, what are we doing? He is literally one of the top 15 best players in the league. Like, it's not even close. He's so fucking good. Like, he's good. Did they finish it?
I think they did. Oh no! Sorry, they finished with pick number 37.
Nick Bonito.
Nick Bonito was 38. Travis Kelce was 37. Let's see.
How the fuck did Travis Kelce get 37?
Kyle Hamilton is 50th. 51st. Kyle Hamilton, 51st best player in the league. I'm just listen, as our good friend Romeo would say, I'm just reporting the news.
These players are fucking idiots.
He's sandwiched between Baker Mayfield at 50 and Terry McLaurin at 52. Jared Verse at 53, Quinyon Mitchell at 49, Jonathan Grenard at 48, and
Jonathan Grenard,
Derwin James at 54. Those are the people that he calls compatriots or comrades.
Derwin James at 54. That's fine. I understand that. He had a bounce back season from poor coach Brandon Staley ruining my great safety that should be Kyle Hamilton. But Kyle Hamilton, I think he's one of the best overall football players. And Nate Wiggins, he showed he's a stud. He had some laps, but he's a stud. Marlon Humphrey, been a stud. Like, that's good over here.
If it helps, Nate Wiggins has not appeared on the list yet. So either he's out of the top 100 or he's higher than 37.
Probably not on the list. These players are stupid. And then also linebacker-wise, Roquan Smith, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Inside, like, people are like, "Oh my God, why would they trade for an inside?" This is why you trade for an inside linebacker. Having a captain like Roquan Smith, a guy I've loved Roquan Smith even in college. Like when he was at Georgia, I was like, bro, this guy's not like an all-pro linebacker in the NFL. I don't know what I'm watching because this was during the time Georgia, they would have these great players, but they would get to the league and just flame out. Roquan Smith was not one of those players because he was going. Dude, I saw this fool chase down Jalen Waddle. Like, this dude fucking chased down Jalen fucking Waddle. Like, I was just like, this guy's insane. Like, how do you chase down Jalen Waddle? Like, you're a linebacker. Like, Roquan Smith is made. And then Trenton Simpson, I expect a big leap year for him. I think he showed some flashes last year and stuff. But I think just the pass rush, that's the only thing. And if you want to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs, if you want to beat Josh Allen the Bills, gotta get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Gotta get it. And I don't see them getting after the quarterback that often.
Which is very interesting because the strength of the Denver defense is the ability of the corners and the safeties to play coverage to the point that you're getting coverage sacks.
Yeah.
And you would think that the Ravens would be able to pull that off. Like, there would be enough talent pass rush wise, or even if it's a fucking defensive tackle bull rushing through, that they would be able to generate the sacks off of the backs of the Nate Wiggins, the Kyle Hamiltons.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that's what would be happening. So the fact that they don't get that many sacks is pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, that's it. Like, offensively, we know they're great. Like Lamar, King Henry, like maybe Derrick Henry, like has a fallout this year, like 1,300 yards. Like, oh no, 1,300 yards for King Henry. That's such a scary fall off. Like, that's like Derrick Henry, he has an argument of being like the greatest football player of all time. Do you want to hear this argument of why I say this?
Sure.
In high school, he was a stud. In college, he was a stud. In NFL, he's a stud. And I'm not talking about accolades and shit like that. I'm talking about just being a stud throughout his whole life. He's just been a stud his whole life.
So here's what's interesting. I want to ask you this question because I'm looking this up. Are we making a mistake here when we're talking about the Ravens and their sacks? Because they had the second highest sacks last year. Denver had 63, and the Ravens had 54. So I think maybe it's
they lost their players that they were getting the sacks.
Well, my question here is also is the issue of when the sacks are coming.
Yeah, when the sacks are coming, they don't get the sacks when it matters. Because like how many late games have we seen? It's like the Ravens had to pull something out of their ass to win the game. The Ravens lost a lot of close games, and they were in a lot of close games against the good teams.
Yeah,
like the Bengals, those overtime games, like they only sacked Joe Burrow once during those overtime games, and then the Bills, we saw it, they couldn't even get to Josh Allen, and they lost that playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, so this is it is interesting because they lost Chris Board, they lost Malik Harrison, they re-signed Brent Urban, and they lost Christian Wells. So they lost a lot of their inside linebackers. But their pass rush, it seems as though it's pretty intact from last year.
It's just Odafe Oweh, man.
Just Odafe Oweh.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I don't see it. I don't see it happening this year.
Let's see this.
Gotta get sacks. Project Washington,
so
like 8 sacks.
Last year, Kyle Van Noy had 12.5 sacks, and then Oweh had 10. They're the only two double-digit sack guys.
Yeah.
Next closest is I'm going to butcher this name, but Inami Matabuike, 6.5. So if it's not coming from Kyle Van Noy or Oweh, they're not getting sacks. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't have anyone like Kyle Van Noy is on the roster. Obviously, he's still there. Yeah. But it's just like
my question there then is the addition of Mike Green. How do you feel about that? About adding in Mike Green, particularly because Kyle Van Noy is getting up there in years.
Oh, I love Mike Green. You know, I thought it was ridiculous that he was a second-round talent. You know, the Ravens got 2 first-round talents in this draft. He fits what the Ravens want to do because he's such a hybrid linebacker. I don't think he's going to be a sack getter right off the rip. Like, I'll be surprised if he gets 6 sacks this season. Like, I think 5 sacks is like a good estimate. I don't think you will see the field that much too, just based off how the Ravens like to run their defense. Yeah, like rotate and stuff. Like, I see Adisa Isaac getting more snaps. Project Washington will get snaps. Brett Urban will get snaps. I think Mike Green will have to like do something crazy. We'll see Mike Green a lot on special teams for sure. Like Mike Green will have to have like a really, really special performance to really, really overtake Kyle. Because Kyle Van Noy, you know, he's been a very good, consistent player in the National Football League for many years. It's just, like I said, they don't have the person across from Oweh when it matters the most. Because then teams are just gonna chip Oweh with the tight end or double team him, make sure he can't wreak havoc. Who's going to get the sacks when it matters most? Who's going to get those sacks? Like when we look at it's like Trey Hendrickson's sacks. Yeah, he led the league in sacks, but how many of those sacks mattered? How many of Odafe Oweh's sacks mattered? Were they on third down when they needed him to get those sacks?
I think this is also a situation because like they got to get somebody in there for whoever's going to replace Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy's 34, and he's in the last year of his contract.
Yeah.
So Mike Green, sir, you're gonna have to find some playing time, figure it out, so that they believe in you and that they trust you. Because the Ravens, they need to figure things out on defense because of the fact that for some reason, it just seems as though the Chiefs. It basically everything comes down to can you beat the Chiefs?
Yeah, no,
and you can't be in situations where Isaiah Likely the foot is the issue. Like you need to be comfortably winning these games against the Chiefs, and that's.
I always think Lamar just overthinks when he plays the Chiefs. Whenever Lamar is in a big game, and this was also a thing in college. This is not like just an NFL thing. Lamar Jackson, when he was just playing and just plays football, it's just like he's one of the most fun players I've ever watched. College, like I think he's one of the best college players of all time. Like Lamar Jackson, like his 2 seasons at Louisville, just absolute masterpieces as a starter. But then he got the big games, and it was like Lamar Jackson just didn't play like Lamar Jackson. He kind of was just like he was just playing dumb. It was just like he overthought so much stuff, and it's like when Lamar can just he just needs to pretend the Chiefs and the Bills are just like whatever team he likes beating up on, and I think he'll win those games. But I think he psychs himself out. He has like this weird mental complex where he overthinks stuff and he doesn't play to the standards that we expect Lamar Jackson to play.
So let's take a look at this Baltimore schedule and see if he's going to have to deal with that kind of problem. Oh, boy. He's definitely going to. He's got the Bills opening up. He's got the Chiefs.
Oh, hey, what a great game for me. Kicking off Sunday Night Football. I see Lamar. I see Josh Allen. I wish it was Patrick Mahomes, but he's in Brazil taking on the Chargers. I'm not going to Brazil, Mike. I'm not going to that game.
But yeah, this is a very intriguing schedule. We're going to be we're about to be talking about the NFC North, but I'm really interested in seeing, and we talked about this with the Bengals, but here for the Ravens, seeing that 13, 14, 15. That's going to be a fun stretch. That could potentially really have some division impact. Like who could be pulling out wins in the division? Because if Cincy is on fire by then, and they are playing with the way they need to be playing, and that defense is playing better, not like a lot better, but just better. Those two games, and then you have the Steelers sandwiched in between. That's going to be really, really interesting, especially the last Bengals game, because that's in Cincy, as opposed to if the first game was in Cincy. But for you, what are the games that I think if they win, and obviously, like we could just say week 4, we'll remove that one. If they can win those games, prove to you that when they do meet up with the Chiefs, or if they do meet up with the Chiefs, that they're going to be able to pull out a win in the playoffs.
Before I say that, this is probably the best schedule I've ever seen for a football team that's actually good to watch. Oh my God. This is actually like every game I'm like,
that's fair.
I got to put the Ravens on the screen. I mean, Buffalo week 1, Cleveland, that should be a fun game. And it's Detroit, Houston, Rams. Like, my God, like they're like, where's a bad game in this schedule? Like, golly, this is probably one of the best schedules you could watch as a football fan. Like,
the bad game is the Jets.
Yeah, that's the only bad game, right? Like, I think the game against Buffalo is important week 1. I know it's week 1, but I think that's very important because, look, Lamar, Josh Allen stole your MVP. Let's just call it how we see it. Josh Allen stole that MVP from you. You got to remind them, hey, man, and the playoff loss, that still stings a little bit. You got to prove, hey, we are dominant. And people are, like, look, Josh Allen's getting crowned by many people as the best quarterback in the league right now. Like, and you gotta prove that. I think Detroit's also a big game. I think the Detroit Lions game is a big game for the Ravens. Hey, Detroit's coming in. I think it's a huge game. I think if you win that game, it looks good. Beating the Texans, but not just beating the Texans. You got to kill the Texans. I better not see this being a close game at all. You got to absolutely destroy the Texans just like the Chiefs would. And then finally, I look at that Minnesota game, and I'm like, bro, if you can go against that defense and you can find a way, and Minnesota added a lot of key pieces on that defense, as we'll see when we talk about them soon enough. That's a game where it's just like, bro, if you can win those games, it's like, yeah, like you're, because I always see it as like your AFC North games, they might split those. That's fine. I understand. But if you want to show me that you're going to beat the Chiefs besides beating the Chiefs on September 28th, those games are pretty important to win to show that you can go. I mean, if the Ravens go 6-0 before the bye, damn, watch out. But I don't see that happening.
Well, let's turn from the AFC North to the NFC North.
No, man.
Last year, the NFC North was also talked about as they were talked about, they were talked about as a division that could send all 4 teams to the playoffs, even if they had to cannibalize wins from each other, because that's how high-powered the anticipation was for all of these teams. And even with Minnesota potentially taking a step back, people were saying, with J.J. McCarthy behind center instead of Kirk Cousins, a lot of people were anticipating great things from all 4 of these teams. So let's see how it shook out. Well, 3 of those teams went to the playoffs. 1 of them did not. The Chicago Bears came in 4th in the league, in the division, with a 5-12 record. This was a I mean, if you were a Bears fan, it was a terrible season because this was one of those highly anticipated, highly promised seasons. You had the first overall pick because of a really great trade with Carolina. That was terrible for Carolina. At least it has been terrible for Carolina.
Shout out Lovie Smith.
Bryce can turn it around. Yeah, shout out to Lovie Smith. But build that man a statue.
Yeah, he deserves one after that. Yes.
But they had the option of any quarterback they wanted in the draft, and they took the consensus by the experts overall number 101 in Caleb Williams. But they weren't done because they also had the 9th overall pick, their own pick, and they went and took Rome Odunze. And the idea of having Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, this was considered by many
the best Chicago offense ever.
It was considered by many to be the greatest offense a rookie quarterback had ever been given.
Oh, yeah.
And, somehow, some way, with the same head coach, with a different offensive coordinator, they lost Luke Getsy but gained Shane Waldron. They went from 7-10 to 5-12 in the 2024 season. Matt Eberflus is gone. Shane Waldron's gone. They tried to hire him the previous season, allegedly, but they finally are able to bring in Ben Johnson after one of the funniest moments that we found out that they didn't even interview Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh when he was available. They didn't even interview him.
And he wanted to go there. That was like
he wanted to go there. They were like, you know what, Matt Eberflus, we're going to stick with that guy.
Do you think Matt Eberflus figured out how to get his bees out of Chicago? He has that bee.
That is a really
that's important to me.
Really important question. And the other question is, how are his bees? Assuming he got them out, how are those bees doing in Dallas? Because he's DC for Dallas.
Or do you think he kept the Chicago place? Like, it was a pretty nice place.
Oh well, sir, as somebody who pays property taxes on 2 properties, my condo and the house that we bought that I can't move into because of construction issues here at the condo building. If I was him and I was paying the property taxes, because that's a downtown in the loop apartment. I'm selling that shit. I'm selling that shit as fast as I can.
Maybe he sold the bees too.
I'm not paying those property taxes.
No, he's not getting express.
Hell no.
Do you think Kingsbury still has that nice ass house he had in Arizona?
Okay, on the flip side, if I was Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know exactly the Arizona property taxes. However, I have to assume a Southwest state that it leans more red than blue. I would think the property taxes are a bit more manageable.
He probably just has that as an Airbnb. He's like, hey, come to my place and party for the weekend.
Wait, the what's it, Coach Saban Airbnb ads where it's like, don't do this, don't do that. Do you think he's got like a list of things like, don't turn that fire thing on?
No, I think
for you to enjoy. It's for me to.
Okay, John Kingsbury was cool with Johnny Manziel showing up to practice drunk. I don't think he cares who goes into his house if he's there. He was like, Johnny would come to practice drunk, but as long as he knew how to read the defense, it didn't matter to me. I was like, why are you admitting this? Like, stop. You should have told him to stop doing this. But nope, he just allowed Johnny Manziel to self-destruct. What an asshole. I would have sold that house in Arizona. I don't think Arizona has like property tax.
If they don't have property taxes, I'm not selling the house.
Yeah, because a lot of streamers will move to like Arizona, Texas. If I can make
the payments on both the property in Arizona and in DC or wherever or Andover, I would absolutely.
He was paid pretty well for the.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he owns that house. That's what I'm saying. It's probably just Airbnb.
He bought it outright. More power to him.
Man.
But
Kingsbury's an idiot on the field, but he seems like a smart guy. I like Coach Cliff. He's funny.
But
Johnny would just come in hungover, and I just say, Johnny, throw the football. I was like, what are you talking about?
But hopefully they're not going to have an idiot on the field in the form of Coach Ben Johnson coming over from Detroit. Romeo with a little jab there at the Lions. Ben Johnson, the great genius, the reason for the entire Lions' success. I'm sure Amon-Ra St. Brown would fight you for that comment, but or at least remember your name. He'll definitely remember your name.
Write it
But
down in this little notebook.
Ben Johnson is coming in here to take over a Chicago team with a roster that is pretty, like, it's not badly built.
No, it's a good roster.
Let's take a look at this and see what they're working with this year. So they do a lot of trades, a lot of signings to figure out this offensive line. People thought that the offensive line would be better in 24 than it was in 23. You could say it took a step back. Maybe some of that was rookie quarterback jitters and Caleb holding the ball for too long and issues like that. But either way, they now, with the Ben Johnson regime and working with Ryan Poles, he was like, Ryan, I don't care what your ideas were for the offensive line. They sucked. They were terrible. Well, I'm going to start picking things and figuring some things out. And they bring in Drew Dahlman, who was a great center for Atlanta last year, but Atlanta simply could not pay him because of that Kirk Cousins contract. And so they bring him in. They trade the Chiefs for Joe Thuney, who, I would say his best years of football are probably behind him, but he still has ways to go before he's not one of the better guards in the league. So I'm saying he's going to be a great addition to this team.
Yeah.
The ability to teach people as a veteran presence. They trade Los Angeles for Jonah Jackson. They also bring in Olamide Zaccheaus. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like you lost Keenan Allen, so it's like, all right, I get it. But realistically, Zaccheaus is a placeholder because they draft Luther Burden in the second round to really create a potentially firepower offense. But the reason why they don't go wide receiver in round one is because for some reason, and this one's still a little bit of a head scratcher for me. Yeah. They draft Colston Loveland, tight end, which they didn't really need, but hey, you had Cole Kmet, now potentially you run 2 tight end sets. You have a little bit more versatility. And the thing that surprised me the most from the offensive side of things is not bringing in real running back competition for DeAndre Swift. And Ben Johnson had DeAndre Swift in Detroit before DeAndre Swift went to Philly. And so the idea that he was not going to bring in competition when I guess there were some issues with Swift in Detroit is still kind of baffling. Now, you could argue, hey, Kyle Monangai, there's some competition, but that's a 7th round pick. And Monangai may be challenging DeAndre Swift for some of those some of those early down work, and especially like goal line stuff, because Roshan Johnson was good on the goal line, but everywhere else he was terrible. And this is a situation where DeAndre Swift, like, sir, your job is on the line because they did not bring any competition. So if you can't run behind this revamped offensive line and you can't help the Bears move the ball, they're going to find a running back who can. So I'm not saying it's necessarily his last chance, but he really got to turn things around. This is a defense that for a long time has not been the problem in Chicago, and it's classic Chicago. It's a classic Chicago scheme in the sense of strong defense, run the ball. Strong defense, run the ball. Well, now they're bringing in Ben Johnson, who is a offensive, like to what Romeo said, offensive genius. So this is a question of whether or not they're going to be running the ball even as much. Maybe DeAndre Swift doesn't have to worry too much about that. But it's a defense that's now going to be led by Dennis Allen, the former head coach of the New Orleans Saints. So my question to you here with the issues that Chicago had last year is, do you anticipate with this revamped roster and this new head coach, how big of a step forward is it for Caleb? Because to me, this is one of the more intriguing but murky situations that we have seen for an offense in a very long time. Because Caleb looks like Caleb looked last year, and the thing is, it wasn't a terrible season. It just wasn't the season that was promised, considering the talent that he on paper has, his 101 pedigree, being drafted first overall, and the idea of stepping into the offense that he had. Now, you can argue Keenan Allen wasn't really Keenan Allen anymore, but Luther Burden's now there to inject even more youth into this offense. What is like not the ceiling for Caleb, but like what is are they going to be able to figure this out on offense? Is, I guess, really the question.
I think they will, because Ben Johnson, he I know like Sonic and Knuckles, everyone's going to be like Montgomery and Gibbs, running. That's not Ben Johnson's style. Like he did that because that's what Dan Campbell wants. Like, it's like sort of like back in like the Alabama days, Lane Kiffin always wanted to throw the ball and do everything. Saban's like, damn it, Lane, run the ball sometime and stuff, and just get mad that Kiffin would never. I feel that was kind of the situation in Detroit where, we've seen Ben Johnson, a lot of his creative play calls are in the passing game. It's not what he does in the running game and stuff. It's in the passing game. So
Yeah.
I think he has said, now I have free reign. I am going to make the play calls, and I have a quarterback that I believe can execute what I want to do. Caleb Williams still has a wonderful arm and stuff. He just needs to trust in it and not trust in his feet. That's the one thing Ben Johnson has to get out of Caleb Williams' head, is trusting in, because Caleb is a tremendous athlete. Tremendous athlete. The problem is Caleb Williams forgets he's in the NFL now. The shit that you could do in high school, the shit that you could do in college. Like, look, I'm sorry, you're not going against someone that is going to go self-finance once he's done playing college football. There's no like business majors in the NFL. There are, but they actually play NFL football. Like they made it into the league. It's just, I hate to break it to you, Caleb. This is how it is. So no one's just getting a communication degree so that way they can just play college football for 4 years, Like, you're playing against actual NFL talent. And if Caleb can trust in his arm with a guy like DJ Moore, who is a really good wide receiver, I think Odunze is going to take a great leap. Luther Burden, I think, is going to be terrific in the slot. You have two really good tight ends, and Kmet and Colston Loveland.
That's, I think, to me, is the most interesting part of this offense, and like what I want to see the most out of, because it's because the question there is, that's really, off-season moves being whatever they are, that's really the first stamp of Ben Johnson as the head coach, was taking Colston Loveland. That was your first opportunity, and that's who you wanted. So that's your guy in that sense. Yeah. So what they're going to do with these tight ends, that's, to me, I'm like, yeah, I kind of know what Rome is. That border guard kind of wide receiver. I know DJ Moore is that streaky, fast guy. Luther Burden seems a lot more of that slot/possession wide receiver. So, but what are these tight ends going to be?
Yeah, because and we saw it in Detroit where he had that Brock kid. His name is
Brock Wright.
Yeah, Brock Wright and Sam Laporta. They would both be on the field at the same time, and it was just like when Sam Laporta got covered, Brock Wright was wide open for touchdowns. And I think we're going to see a lot of those similar schemes in the Chicago offense, where it's going to be, Loveland and Kmet. Like running wise, like DeAndre Swift, he's going to do what he does. He's going to have a fine season. But I do feel like we're going to see a lot more passing. And this is why he went after a guy like Drew Dahlman, who's a good pass protector. Jonah Jackson, not good at run blocking. Pass protecting wise, Jonah Jackson's really good. Joe Thuney struggled sometimes at the Chiefs run game, but he can pass protect. That's the thing that he's looking at. He's looking at guys in the interior that are going to be good pass blockers, understand pass blocking sides, because I think Chicago is going to be throwing the football more than running the football. It's going to be a throw-heavy offense, because I truly believe if you watch Ben Johnson and his schemes and everything that he did in Detroit, everyone's going to say, oh, it was Montgomery and Gibbs. He was more running and stuff. He doesn't have that anymore. That's not what he was all about. He was designing passing and everything of that nature. That's where he makes his money. That's why he's there.
So, I mean, obviously, I'm sure many people are trying to figure this out, but out of these players, out of these wide receivers, who is that Amon-Ra St. Brown? Is it DJ Moore, or is that more going to be the Burden spot?
Burden
can
do everything. Burden's more. DJ Moore is great. But
because somebody's got to be J-Mo.
yeah. DJ Moore. The thing with DJ Moore is they tried to do this with him in Carolina, make him kind of do it all and stuff. It just wasn't working in Carolina. It just wasn't something. He's super athletic. He's a really great wide receiver. The Bears should be happy to have a receiver like this on the roster. But he's not going to be like Amon-Ra. Luther Burden fits with what Amon-Ra is, like a great route runner. That's the thing with Luther Burden. Luther Burden can catch the ball, make people miss, do a lot of crazy things and stuff. So I think it's Luther Burden. DJ Moore, he'll catch a deep ball and stuff. I've been someone that drafts DJ Moore every year in fantasy, even when he was on Carolina. And I think this year I'm fading DJ Moore. I'm getting off the DJ Moore addiction and stuff. As much as I love him, I had to get off of it eventually.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the schedule and try to figure out what will be a success for the first year of Ben Johnson and the Bears. It's tough because you got to face everybody else in the NFC North. But you do get – oh, wait, no, you don't, because you also get to face the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Eagles, even the Cowboys. Yeah, you got the Raiders,
Here we go.
the Giants. So what I want to know from you is, what does success look like this first season with Ben Johnson? They're still growing pains, and they do have a pretty tough schedule.
Honestly, if you're a Bears fan, you have to at least expect playoffs with this. Just because,
That's tough, man. That is a tough expectation.
The amount of money they put onto this team, the amount of aggressive moves they've made, it's playoffs or bust for them, especially for Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles, great GM. This guy has been so amazing, yet where's the success?
Yeah.
They need to have a successful season. Like, I'm just saying, Mitchell Trubisky's teams made the playoffs. I'm just saying, like the Bears have to make the playoffs, whether it's as a wild card or, securing the NFC North. And there's possibilities. It's not like their rivals don't have easier schedules. Like, I think the NFC North, what the compelling thing about it is that all four teams have very tough schedules, and all four teams have a lot of changes, minus the Packers. Like, the Packers are the more consistent of the change, but we don't know who their wide receiver ones are going to be just yet.
We're about to get to that.
Stuff. So I think all these teams are on fair playing ground when it comes to scheduling, because they're all facing tough. But the thing with the Bears that I see as a major disadvantage, and I talked about the Steelers, that week 5 bye. That's a horrible bye week to have. And then you don't even get to come at home after the bye. Got to go face the Commanders on Monday Night Football. You get a break with the Saints. Then you get the Ravens and the Bengals. Then you get a break with the Giants. And then you get Vikings, Steelers, Eagles, Packers. Like, oh.
It is.
It's a tough schedule, but you could be in a situation, and we saw it last year, where the NFC North, it went down to the final week. I'm not saying both teams will be 13 and whatever this year, but it could be a case where all teams have 10 wins, and we got to figure out tiebreakers and everything of that nature. So I think playoffs are bust for the Bears. I think, and could the Bears have a bad, because then afterwards, if it's a year or two, and it's not like with Bryce Young. Bryce Young was never labeled as a generational quarterback. He was labeled as a good quarterback. Caleb got the generational label. Like, one of the best prospects since Trevor Lawrence. And that wasn't too far apart from each other, Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams. But when you get those generational tags, and then especially when your quarterback class 2, you had Jaden Daniels make the NFC Championship. Bo Nix made it to the playoffs with not really the best Denver roster on offense, at least. Michael Penix, sure, he started late, but the Falcons were in the running until they blew those last 2 games to making the playoffs. Like, and Drake May, he's just on a horrible team. Like, it's not like Drake May sucks. He's legit on a horrible team. Like Drake May's on a team where it's just like, we understand the Patriots are bad this year. Like, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, Patriots are bad. That's fine. They're still building stuff. This team literally hired this head coach, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson being touted as one of a generational head coach. Like, this is like Jimmy Johnson. Like, this is how we're labeling Ben Johnson. He's the next Jimmy Johnson. He's the next Andy Reid. Like, this is how generational of a coach Ben Johnson is expected to be. So, and the Lions, did they not make the playoffs under Ben Johnson as OC with that team where everyone's like,
it's true.
You expect playoffs for this team. Not like, oh, okay, well, we missed out, but we got a top 10 pick. What's this top 10 pick going to fucking do for you? Like, especially with the generational quarterback who last year, as we stated, got handed one of the greatest offensive situations of all time. And now he's getting handed, another great situation and getting handed the coach that everyone is predicting to be the next great coach in the NFL. Like has there ever been a coaching prospect as hyped as Ben Johnson coming from the coordinator level? Like, when's the last coordinator coach
Probably
that you can think of? Yeah, Kyle Shanahan. That's it. That's the only one that I can think of. Like McVay, like before anyone says McVay, McVay wasn't as hyped up as Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, everyone's like, oh, he's gonna be like his dad. McVay just became
all that shit.
Yeah, because and even still, McVay won the Super Bowl and was like, oh, he came from the Shanahan coaching tree. He was Kyle Shanahan's tight end coach in Washington and stuff. Like they shit on McVay a lot, like in everything. So Ben Johnson and look at what Shanahan did. Shanahan turned around the 49ers. Right
So
away.
let me ask you this question then. Let's assume for a moment that the Bears just missed the playoffs, right? Or even
they just miss. It's still a disappointment.
Okay. No, I know. But I'm saying, like, okay, let's say they go 8-9, because this is a pretty tough schedule.
Not good enough.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying then, what is the question mark? Like, how long then is the leash, so to speak, on Caleb Williams? Because now you've had 2 seasons where he's had really great offensive talent. He's, previously last year, the issue people said was the coach and all that kind of stuff. Like, where are we on that meme of Bears, like, you are here in the cycle, where it's like, and it's following exactly the same way it always does. Mm-hmm. Bears draft a really good quarterback. People say the next season that the head coach was the problem. They fire the head coach and get a new head coach. And then a year or 2 later, now that quarterback is gone, that head coach gets to draft a new quarterback. And now we're back to the problem being the head coach and not the quarterback. So, like, if they don't make the playoffs and they're doing it at like an 8-9 record or 7-10 record, which technically is an improvement, where would you say the leash is, so to speak, on somebody like a Caleb Williams?
Probably his 3rd year, because that's when Arch Manning's draft eligible, and then you can dangle Caleb Williams and some.
Well, that'll be in essence 1 more year.
Yeah. Well, he can go out this year if he wants, but you could trade Caleb Williams and a couple first rounders for pick number 1 to get Arch.
I mean, if you're a team though, why would you want to waste? Why would you want to waste one? I mean, I get you that you're getting the other first round picks, but like, wouldn't you rather just have Arch Manning?
That's a great question. Ryan Poles, though, knows how to deceive people. Look at what he did to Carolina. So,
hey, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, he's pretty good at that. He's not good at anything else. He can't find a head coach to save his life, but he's good at. He likes chewing his bubble gum and stuff. But no, like, I think Caleb Williams does have a long leash with Ben Johnson, but I don't know if Ben Johnson has a long leash for Caleb Williams. I think he's an impatient ass motherfucker. He comes up as a guy that's like Ben Johnson's one of those guys. If you don't understand what he's saying,
apparently he's kicking people out of or sending them out of practice if they're messing up, like being exactly on the line of scrimmage where he wants them to be.
Yeah, like Ben Johnson comes up as one of those guys. Like he'll come talking to you, John, and you'll be like, the X receiver's not right there, and the Z, and then you're like, I don't understand what you're saying. How do you not understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, the X receiver has to be lined up right there. The Z has to be right there. Tight end has to be there. Like, he gets mad. Like you don't understand. He's one of those guys that just is like, he speaks too much and you just don't understand what he's saying, but he expects you to understand what he's saying because he's a genius. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, you have to understand what I'm saying, right? You get why the X receiver has to be there, right, John? And you're like, no, I don't get why the X receiver has to be there. I don't get. Well, you're a fucking idiot. Go sit on the bench. I don't need to talk to you about this. Like, so I don't know how his patience is. That's my only concern with Ben Johnson. I don't think he's a patient person, and it shows in his play calling. And then also with Ben Johnson is this: a lot of times, my main complaint with the Detroit Lions was they would take their foot off the gas pedal.
Yes.
A lot of games where it was like, oh yeah, the Lions are going to massacre this team. It's going to be 38. It's like 38-6 at the half. Yeah, okay. And then all of a sudden you're looking at the score and you're like, it's 38-24. The fuck? What did Detroit do? How did they score 38 in the first half and they didn't score 1 point and it's like, I don't know if it's Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's like, run the ball. And Ben Johnson's like, no, I got this cool pass play I want to run. Let me run this cool pass play and stuff. So who knows? But yeah, a lot of times that's my main concern. But yeah, I think it's playoffs. You have to make the playoffs if you're the Bears. If not, it's kind of like one of those where it's like, why are you being so aggressive? Why are you making like for example, if the Patriots, let's just say we're going to use Terry McLaurin and Micah Parsons as example because they're on the trade block. Well, sort of, I guess.
Yeah.
If they went aggressive and got both those players on the roster, then I would expect the Patriots to be like, oh, you have to make the playoffs. But they're not. They're like, hey, we're giving Drake May an older Stephon Diggs, and hopefully, like it can teach Drake May like how to build rapport with a veteran wide receiver, and that will make him learn something when trying to develop other wide receivers, or if we bring someone else in. That's kind of like what the Stephon Diggs move is. This move right here is like you have a prime DJ Moore, Rome Odunze entering year 2, and your first 2 top picks were on the offensive side of the ball, and they're 2 great athletes on that offensive side of the ball in Loveland and Luther Burden, and your coach is an offensive genius and wizard that's supposed to fix everything. Yeah, I expect, the Bears to have good. I expect the Bears to finally have a 4,000-yard passer in their history. I expect Caleb Williams to have 30-plus touchdowns. Like, I expect these things. Like, these are things that you should expect if you're a Bears fan. Like, the defense is fine. Like, they didn't really do too much to improve it. They still haven't found a running mate for Montez Sweat. Like, it's just like Montez Sweat and a bunch of goofs trying to go after the quarterback. But back end, it's pretty solid. You saw some development out of Kyler Gordon and stuff. But, yeah, I expect playoffs for this team. Like, they have to make the playoffs. They have to make the playoffs if you want to see success, and especially because of what's touted about. Like, how did Shanahan do his first year in San Francisco?
I'll tell you right now. Kyle Shanahan, head coaching record. He went 6-10.
6-10.
And he went
he didn't have Jimmy that year, right? He was like running Nick Mullins. He was running all those three quarterbacks. Or did Jimmy get hurt early on? Trey Lance got hurt early on, right?
No. He had Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
But I think because I think that was 27. That's 2017, right? Yeah. So let me see. No. He traded for. That was the year they traded for Jimmy, and
then 2018. Then 2018, Jimmy got hurt.
Yeah.
And then they had another bad season, but that roster wasn't good yet. And then they drafted Nick Bosa.
Yep.
Then they fought the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They should have won. I don't know how they didn't win that game. So fucking stupid. Jimmy Garoppolo just throws a better ball to Emmanuel Sanders. We're in an alternate timeline.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah.
But let's turn from one team that, we're saying playoffs are bust, to a team that did make the playoffs. And we're talking about history and what you bring to the table. And that is the Green Bay Packers. And last year, the Green Bay Packers went 11-6. They were the 7th seed. They scraped into the playoffs and proceeded to not do that well against the Eagles. They were racked with injuries. They had Jordan Love missing time in the beginning of the season. Malik Willis out there winning games, making people go, what the hell is going on in Tennessee? But they are now primed for another season, it seems. And let's take a look at this roster. And the first and foremost question is, what is going on in the wide receiver room in Green Bay
right now? Matthew
because
Golden
Christian
is not
Watson
going to be good.
Christian Watson starting the they're expected to begin the season with the reserve/pup designation. An early return as early as week 5 could be in store given Watson's steady progress in rehab. But a couple days ago, they're saying that wide receiver Jaden Reed is expected to be dealing with an injury that could jeopardize his availability for the start of the season. He was in a walking boot due to a sprained foot, and one source described his status as day-to-day. So now you've got a situation where this team finally took a wide receiver in the first round in Matthew Golden. And
not going to be good.
This is a question mark at best offensive skill position group when it comes to these wide receivers. Romeo Doubs historically has issues making catch of the ball.
Issues off the field too. He doesn't want to play.
Hey. When he's there, he ain't doing much. And Jaden Reed, their kind of Swiss Army knife player, is in a walking boot. That's ridiculous. Like, it's not even a question of like who the people are around Jaden Reed. Like, how are you going to be the Swiss Army knife guy if you're in a walking boot? Like all of that takes time. Sprained foot, like to get back that explosiveness, to get back that shiftiness, that drew comparisons between him and a young Deebo Samuel. That's going to take time. But at least they know they can run the ball. They still have Josh Jacobs. They bring in, Izzy Abanikanda from the Jets. They have Tucker Kraft. They have Luke Musgrave. Honestly, I get it, having Luke Musgrave as injury insurance against something happening to Tucker Kraft, but like there are teams out there that would be probably willing to trade for Tucker Kraft. For Luke Musgrave, and you can get something back for a player that you put a second-round pick in. Then the same draft doubled down in the third round, and the third-round pick is outplaying the second-round pick. But this is a team that is so, and Romeo said it in the comments. What a weird team, and that Golden better be amazing because you can't trust these other wide receivers. Jaden Reed really was the only wide receiver you can trust, and now he's got the injury. But this is such a weird team on offense that the amount of pressure that's on Jordan Love to perform and because like I've talked about this before, the hallmark of a franchise quarterback is the ability to use a wrestling parlance, to take chicken shit and make it into chicken salad. That is the requirement if you are going to be the franchise of the team, because we saw plenty of situations where Tom Brady or Peyton Manning didn't always have the best offensive skill position players. Like, yes, Peyton had Reggie Wayne and he had Edgerrin James and so on and so forth, but there were other times where he didn't. And his goal or his job was to take that and elevate it. Tom Brady never really had that great of offensive players. He had Gronk. He had a little bit with Randy Moss, but most of the time they were finding people sort of off the street, undrafted free agents, late round picks, and they were like, Tom, figure this out. And that's the hallmark. And I mean, I'm using the guy people say is the GOAT and the guy that is one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the league in Peyton Manning as the benchmark, because that's what teams are looking for when they're giving you that kind of money. That was what my issue was with the Kyler contract. These teams want people who are going to play to the level of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And those are very lofty goals, but that's what they're turning to Jordan Love from, because Jordan Love is following in the footsteps of Aaron Rodgers, who followed in the footsteps of Brett Favre. That's the problem for Jordan Love. That's the issue. And so my question to you is, this defense and this offense, which has so many question marks, what is their hallmark? What do they have to hang their hat on? Is it the ability to run the ball? Is it the ability to try to play good defense? Like, what is the identity of the Green Bay Packers in 2025?
That's for Coach Matt LaFleur to show us. I don't know their identity. I just know Matthew Golden won't be good. He's not wearing a good receiver number, 22. Disgusting. Are you a running back or you're a wide receiver, buddy? You can run your 9 routes all you want, but you're going to be dropping those footballs until you get an 80 in there, an 8, or be like Jaden Reed or the Tavion Wicks. Get one of those. Why are you wearing 22, you running back?
Do they have the number 12 retired or something?
Probably. Like, maybe they don't want to give Rodgers stench on there, but yeah, I don't know what the identity of this offense is. I just hope Jordan Love is healthy. Yeah, no, Romeo, I do. Here's the thing. I'm cool with players wearing whatever numbers. Receivers cannot be wearing these 20s. Like, receivers wearing 20. Name me a receiver with a good number that's like 20 to like 40. Can't. You pull up some AFL crap, sure. But you can't name your wide. College is different. College, wear whatever number you want. I don't care. In the NFL, you got to be wearing normal numbers. You can't be wearing these numbers. Like, when I see this, I'm like, you're not gonna be good. You're struggling.
I'm now kind of.
Yeah. Right. It's wearing a running back's number 22. Yeah. Not even a successful running back number. How many running backs did you know were 22 and they were one of the best players in the league?
Yeah, But yeah, this is a team that there's so many question marks beyond.
Defensively, I'm not even concerned. Like the defense is good. Like they have a lot of good young players, and I think that's going to be what they're going to rely on. Freaking Edgerrin Cooper was a beast last year. Quay Walker is figuring it out. Evan Williams, he was good. Javon Ballard, they felt comfortable enough getting rid of Jair Alexander to get him into the starting lineup. Xavier McKinney was a great free agent pickup for them last year. They took him from the Giants, and he played well for them. Like what? Like was he tied, or he was like one of the top interception leaders in the NFL last year? McKinney was. I felt like every game he was getting a pick. So like their defense is good. It's just this offense. It's like I don't know. Like offensive line, I'm not concerned on. I think the offensive line is not horrible. Like it's not great, but it's not a horrible offensive line. But it's just like receiver wise, there's just not anyone that's like, oh man, Jordan Love has this person. Like, and it's not even when Christian Watson's healthy, I'm not like that with Christian Watson. It's just Josh Jacobs. It's like, yeah, they were going to be the team I was going to choose for the NFC North. Then I looked at this roster, and then I saw Matthew Golden's number, and then I said, nope, not happening. Can't.
I love how much of a hater you are about
that. No, I hope he does well. It's just he won't do well wearing that number. You can't be a top receiver in the NFL with that. This screams number 3 wide receiver, like Ray-Ray McCloud ass number. This is what Ray-Ray McCloud would have. So on the Falcons, he wears 34. That pisses me off too.
Yeah. So, yeah. Wow. Last year, Xavier McKinney had 8 interceptions. So basically, every other game he had a pick.
And I think a couple games he had like 2, or one game he had like 2 interceptions. Yeah, he had like 2 interceptions in one game. But he was good last year for them. He was a really good player. Like defensively, it's just like this is a good team, good young team with good young players. Kenny Clark, I think they just re-signed him, and he's a beast. Rashawn Gary, we know he's good.
The only person who had more interceptions than him was Kirby Joseph. Kirby Joseph had 9. Xavier McKinney had 8. Marlon Humphrey had 6. C.J. Gardner-Johnson had 6. And Byron Murphy had 6. So those are your top 5.
Yeah, well.
But let's see if in the schedule there's going to be...
Golden will be lucky to get 6 touchdowns on number 22.
Let's see if there's the opportunity for some players to, especially Xavier McKinney, to get some interceptions. So, let me break it down for me. How are we getting the Green Bay Packers back to the playoffs with this kind of a schedule?
I don't think we're getting back to the playoffs with this type of schedule. This is a tough stretch. Dreaded Week 5 bye. That kind of sucks for them. They get that dreaded Week 5 bye. Kick off the season with Detroit. Not an easy win. Yeah, sure, it's in Lambeau. Detroit, they changed some things, but that's not an easy win. Washington, now that's a big game. I don't think that's an easy win either. Cleveland, we talked about that game. That could be a trap game for the Packers. Dallas, yeah, here we go. Sunday Night Football. Tough game. Coming off the bye, you got to take on the Bengals. Cardinals and Steelers, you could win those games. Panthers, most likely you win that game. Then you got Philly, Minnesota. This is a very ugly schedule. This is why I was saying the Bears, even though they have a tough schedule, playoffs have to be an expectation because look at this schedule for the Packers. It's also a very, very tough schedule they have to go against. It's not an easy one. It's one of those where it's like, where do you see the 3-game win streaks coming from? Do you think they're going to win against Cincy, Arizona, and Pittsburgh, all 3 of those in a row? Like, win streaks matter. You have to at least have, like a lot of playoff teams, and especially if you want to look at success, you can't be win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. Like, a lot of playoff teams that make it to the playoffs is because they had that stretch in the season where they won 3, 4 in a row, maybe 5 in a row. And that's important in the NFL. If you look at all the playoff teams from last year, they all at least had a 3 to 4 game win streak that solidified their playoff position and their playoff spot. Like that is very important.
Purely from a Broncos fan perspective, I'm hoping that they forget that they play the Broncos because they're too focused on their historical rivals, the Bears. That sandwich. That Broncos game.
This is a tough. See, that's why I was saying the Bears, even though their schedule looks tough, all these NFC North teams have a tough ass schedule. Like this,
Yeah.
they literally have like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
hardest schedules in that league.
you could see them. You could see the Packers getting wins off of Arizona, Pittsburgh, and then the Panthers.
Yeah, it's possible. It's also not possible. I'm just saying, like, you need like that is a good 3-game stretch, but they're on the road in all of them, and we know Kyler Murray. He loves being like October. This is before Call of Duty comes out, so we know Kyler Murray's locked in at least before that. Then when Call of Duty comes out, it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough schedule for the Packers. I'm looking at these games. I'm like,
that late stretch is just terrible.
Yeah.
Like besides the Giants, like Philly,
basically from week 12 onwards.
Yeah.
Look at that. Vikings, Lions, Bears, Broncos, Bears, Ravens, Vikings.
That's hard, man.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And
like
then the Ravens game is even more.
You could arguably lose all of those games.
And the Ravens game is even more frustrating because you don't know, because this is where they're going to do like the super weekend or the super Christmas. So you don't know what day you're playing your game and stuff. So like you might get shitted. Like let's say like, oh, we barely scraped by against the Bears, or we lost against the Bears. All right, you got to go back Saturday, short week, go play the Ravens before New Year's. Like what? Why? Like why do we have to do that? Why fuck us? Like that. Pretty much what they're saying. But yeah, this is a tough stretch, and honestly, LaFleur, if he somehow makes the playoffs, just give him Coach of the Year. Like, just say, like, you know what, LaFleur, you got a receiver where number 22, and somehow, some way, you won these football games and made the playoffs. Here's Coach of the Year for you, buddy. Who cares that Jim Harbaugh went 17-0? You're Coach of the Year.
Well, let's 17-0. Fuck.
Yeah, who got it than us? Nobody. Yeah, we won it all.
Well, let's turn from a guy who is trying to get head coach of the year.
When do I get to watch? I gotta watch them play Pittsburgh. Mike, I don't want to go to that game. It's too cold. It's October. I might call a sick day on that game, Mike. I don't watch. I get it. Aaron Rodgers taking on his old team, but this is not in Lambeau. Mike, I'm not going to that game.
To the guy that did win head coach.
That's Tony Dungy do that game with you.
And that's KOC, Kevin O'Connell.
Oh, my dog.
For the Minnesota Vikings, the guy who may have proved last year that Kirk Cousins' success in Minnesota was a little bit more of a system than Kirk Cousins. Because he was able to do it with Sam freaking Darnold and get Sam Darnold paid by Seattle.
KOC.
Congratulations, sir.
You mentor.
That Sam Darnold's grandkids should be writing Christmas cards to the KOC family.
Stacking. This is my team. This is my team. The Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, whoa.
Versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
You can't be calling this your team when you were shitting on my dog, Jordan Addison. All right.
It was not my fault that he decided to drink and drive. I didn't tell him that. But
it's only 3 games suspension.
But I really like the Minnesota Vikings.
I mean, I love the Minnesota Vikings because of that.
I really like them.
I love them because of that 1-2 punch. That 1-2 punch of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And I get that Addison will be suspended for the first 3 games. But that 1-2 punch is one of the deadliest but underrated 1-2 punches in the entire NFL. Like Chase and Higgins get their credit, and credit where credit is due. Like they deserve the conversations that they get. But a lot of people, if you talk about like what's the greatest wide receiver duo, you don't hear Jefferson and Addison being talked about a lot. And there were games, especially in Kirk's last year and the year before, where Jefferson got hurt and Addison was pressed into service as the wide receiver 1, and he delivered. He did what was needed. So, like, the idea that Addison is not, like, qualified enough to be wide receiver 2 and in those conversations of best 1-2 punches is baffling to me. But this is an offense that is real. Like, it's a complete offense. And yes, we have a lot of offensive line issues or question marks because they brought in Will Fries, they brought in Ryan Kelly, they drafted Donovan Jackson. But if those players work out and you have those anchor pieces, Darisaw and Brian O'Neill, continue to be anchor pieces, and you get this interior of the offensive line up, it's a really complete offense. Now, I will say, that one of their weaknesses on offense, to me, is the running back situation. Aaron Jones is a good running back, but is he like a world beater guy that at the end of the game you can hand the ball and he's going to be able to kill clock? I don't know. Like, it's a weird situation, and especially it's made murkier by bringing in Jordan Mason, who had really good games. Really good games for San Fran, and it's a situation where like it could really be a workhorse committee, and that's working actually to the benefit of Minnesota, not to the benefit of Aaron Jones, but to the benefit of Minnesota, because they have somebody who can relieve that pressure off of Jones. The question is going to be, is this offensive line as good as the San Fran offensive line / the San Fran offensive run scheme? KOC, very, very, very similar. But will it be enough with these two running backs? That's, I think, is the real question. Because if Minnesota has to get into a shootout, I trust that they can. Which brings us to the biggest question mark on offense, J.J. McCarthy. This is going to be –
he's a winner.
This is, in essence, the quasi-rookie season of J.J. McCarthy. And can he step into the shoes of not really Sam Darnold, but of Kirk Cousins, and do Kirk Cousins-like things? As long as you don't make some of the dumb decisions that Kirk Cousins make, and Kirk's our guy here on Tru Offseason, True Picks, like any football pod we have, Kirk Cousins is a friend of the show.
Yeah.
I'll drink Roy Rogers with Kirk Cousins any day of the week, even if he doesn't want to. But J.J. McCarthy has pressure on him because this is a team that is built to win. And one of the biggest issues we saw last year was Sam Darnold going back to New York Jets Sam Darnold and seeing ghosts sometimes, especially when he was in the playoffs, that playoff game. And it was like, can you get the job done, J.J. McCarthy? Because if you can, especially while you're on this rookie contract, the Minnesota Vikings are primed. But I want you to talk to me about the Minnesota defense and Brian Flores.
Good. B-Flow, not a good head coach, but a great defensive coordinator.
Some might argue an abusive head coach.
Yeah, I know, right? But B-Flow, his defense is just such a tough defense to figure out. He loves to run that double mug look. He has both linebackers up to the line. You don't know if they're blitzing. You don't know who's coming from where. But, like, the thing about this defense is, too, like, they love taking projects where it's like, yeah, this guy didn't work for their team, but they might work for our team, and that's all that matters. And last year, they did a great job with Bullard, and then freaking Tillery, and they ended up going to other teams, and they played well. Now it's like, okay, we got upgrades. We have Jonathan Allen, who still has a lot of great football left in him. They had Javon Hargrave, it's been kind of disappointing. Hasn't really turned out to be, the DeForest Buckner replacement that San Fran wanted him to be. But under B-Flow's defense, I think he's going to play really, really well. Jonathan Greenard, he came in and he was just lights out as a pass rusher. Andrew Van Ginkel also lights out as a pass rusher. Ivan Pace Jr. came in and he was just tremendous. Blake Cashman has been a great underrated defensive, great pass coverage linebacker in the NFL. Harrison Smith, this guy doesn't age. He's been in the league forever, but just doesn't age when it comes to playing the ball. Upgrade the corners. You have Byron Murphy Jr. You have Jeff Okudah. Honestly, man, Byron Murphy's been on the team, but Jeff Okudah's upgrade for whatever else they had. I just love this defense. I just look at this defense and I just say to myself, I'm like, man, this defense is going to win them so many football games. Van Ginkel is just a winning type player. Jonathan Greenard, winning type player. Jonathan Allen, winner. Harrison Smith is a winner. Like, this might be one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. And I think they're going to prove it with this very tough schedule they have overcoming. But the sneaky athleticism of J.J. McCarthy will come through for them. I think J.J. is going to have a tremendous quasi-rookie year. I think he's going to put up really nice numbers. I'm high on J.J. McCarthy. And my pick of them making the Super Bowl is based off the fact that I do believe Kevin O'Connell is the best coach currently in the National Football League right now.
The best coach overall?
Yeah.
It's a bold statement, sir. It's a bold
Do you think Andy Reid's doing this for Sam Darnold? Andy Reid has Patrick Mahomes. Barely could do shit with him. Maybe younger Andy Reid. Maybe younger Andy Reid. You think Vrabel's doing this? You think Vrabel's doing this?
Hold on.
You think McVay would have traded Sam Darnold two games in?
On. I'm not here trying to defend the Chiefs and Andy Reid, but are you trying to compare those two wide receivers with the wide receivers in Kansas City?
Okay. There's no way Andy Reid, if he had Sam Darnold's doing what Kevin, he would ruin Justin Jefferson. He would make Justin Jefferson run stick routes.
And Justin Jefferson would be freaking housing it off a stick route somehow.
I'm just saying, currently today, I'm not talking, screw all the past shit. Kevin O'Connell's the best coach.
Huh?
He makes his team better. Like how many coaches make their teams better? It's Kevin O'Connell.
A few.
Best coach.
A few head coaches make their teams better.
Yeah. Kevin O'Connell. You could put Kevin O'Connell on the Saints.
There's at least two I can name right now in the AFC West alone.
Kevin O'Connell can go to the Saints and make Tyler Shough into a great quarterback.
I thought only Chase Oliver can do that. And
by the way, Tyler Shough is the greatest, lowest overall quarterback of all time. He's amazing. Like they overpowered this kid. Like he shouldn't be this good. He shouldn't be. He feels like he's a good 80 overall quarterback, but he's not a good 80 overall quarterback. He's 70, he's now 71 in my Madden file. That took forever to get to.
On the rise.
Yeah, on the rise. But no, Kevin O'Connell currently is the best coach, and he's going to cement that this year. I'm stamping my flag. Minnesota, Cincinnati in the Super Bowl, and the winner will be the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, let's see how many people, the people purple eaters, got to beat to get there. This is a fun schedule. This is a fun schedule to watch.
It's the easiest out of all the other NFC North teams.
Whew.
I'm going to try to go to the Chargers-Vikings game, and I'm really going just to get Kevin O'Connell's autograph. I mean that serious. I love Kevin O'Connell. He's sorry, McVay. I'm on to something fresh. It's my dog KOC.
Yeah, Romeo's saying the LSU Bowl because you'd have Chase and Jefferson and
Burrow.
Yeah.
I look at this Viking schedule. First of all, overall team NFC wise, they're not even like when we do the power rankings next week. You guys would be like, "Why are you choosing for Super Bowl if they're not ranked as high?" It's just because of like other factors. But I just look at the schedule and I just look at that defense and I just feel like I'm high on JJ McCarthy. I think McCarthy
stop a lot of the teams on here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you get into and the thing is too, you're playing against a lot of teams you're going to see in the playoffs. Like you're going to see maybe Detroit again in the playoffs. You're going to maybe face off against, the Philadelphia in the playoffs. Like there's a lot Dallas could potentially make the playoffs. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of teams you're going to have familiarity with, and it's just going to be like, oh, okay, cool. Like we know how to do these guys. We know and there's no other coach I would rather have Kevin O'Connell to go against someone again. The only coach that scares Kevin O'Connell is McVay because McVay knows all his bullshit. Which is so stupid. Like, fuck you. But I love Kevin O'Connell, man. Was he not coach of the year last year?
No, he was.
Yeah,
he was. Like because I remember both of us. If I remember right, both of us picked Kevin O'Connell as coach of the year, and then he won it. If I remember right.
But who was there early? I was there early. I was on the KLC bandwagon early. Everyone else jumped on.
Now I'm super. Hold on, Chase and John pick them week by week. Yeah. Staff. Oh no, those are the staff changes. The All Pros, sheet 1. Oh damn! Week 14 is when we did it. So no, I had Dan Campbell and I had KOC as my second.
You didn't believe. I believed. I've never wavered.
Oh yeah, this is really interesting to take a look back now. So at week 14 of last year, we both had the same MVP pick, Josh Allen. I had Dan Campbell, you had KOC.
Of course.
Biggest fall off was Justin Tucker for both of us. comeback player for us.
How right were we on that?
Come back. Hold on. Actually, wait, hold on. Now I want to take a look at
Yeah, how right on we were that. I mean, he gonna be playing them.
Hold on. Geez. Come on. Where is this? 14th. Okay. All right. So then for comeback player, we both had Sam Darnold.
But Burrow won that.
Then Burrow won it. Yeah. Then offensive player, you had Chase. I had Saquon. Saquon won it. Defensive player, we both took Pat Surtain.
I convinced you. Remember, I had to convince
you. Because I was like, an edge rusher is going to win this.
Yeah, you had TJ Watt, and then I chose Surtain, and I had my argument made why Surtain was. Remember how both shocked we were when Surtain got announced as DPOY? Like, we both celebrated. Like, we were so happy. We were like, yes, we were correct on this. Like because TJ Watt was like leading the pack, and then he kind of fell off. And then, like, when you looked at all the other DPOY, like Garrett, he was on a bad team. He wasn't really affecting much. Trey Hendrickson just had sacks, but also on a bad team once again, so it wasn't really affecting much. Really, the only, like, Surtain was to me, and especially, like, Surtain's numbers last year were sick for a cornerback. Like, that's like prime Revis numbers, if not even better than prime Revis. Just how much, like, if you guys look at the nerdy stats, like, of his coverage and shit like that, you're just like, holy shit! Like, he shuts down the whole.
If I remember right, it was that quarterbacks would have had a higher QBR if they had just thrown the ball into the dirt versus throwing the ball with Pat Surtain.
Like, the whole right side, whatever side of the field he was covering, literally, like, the completion percentage for quarterbacks was like 22% last year. 22%. That's so fucking low. And it's not just Surtain by him. Like, think of how good you have to be where quarterbacks are like, I'm not throwing to your side of the field. Like, fuck you. I'm not going to throw a ball in that direction. Like, there's something about you.
I swear, man, if Jade Barron becomes like a mini Pat Surtain.
You still have Riley Moss out there. So
no, because he would have taken the job from Riley Moss.
Well, Riley Moss moved to the nickel?
Yeah, I'll lose my mind.
Yeah.
Because how are you, like, you have to just run the ball.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Either you're running the ball or you're doing short yard passes, and then, like, Dre Greenlaw's going to be there.
Yeah.
We don't need to get back into
Surtain DP.
So then we had.
You guys just got to do your research.
So then underrated at the time, week 14. We both had Joe Mixon, but I had Joe Mixon / Tyrone Tracy. Overrated, you had Orlando Brown. I had Jalen Hurts, which kind of bit me in the ass.
Oh, man, Super Bowl champion. Wow.
MVP. We both had Patrick Mahomes as hated. We both had Azeez Al-Shaair as dirtiest. Defensive rookie, we both picked Jared Verse, and he won it. And then
I was on that. You can ask Romeo. I was on the Jared Verse train preseason. I said, that's your defensive rookie of the year. And
offensive rookie of the year, I went with the obvious homer pick of Bo Nix, and you took Brock Bowers.
Yeah. I was wrong about Brock Bowers. I was wrong. Did you see that he shaved his whole head? He got rid of it. He's not bald.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, bro. Someone posted a picture. It's a 2,000-yard season incoming.
Oh, no. Either that or he's becoming pure Raider and he's going to be in jail in like 3 years.
Oh, yeah, dude. Vegas is getting to Bowers.
One of the two. But let's move from the guy that at week 14 Chase had for coach of the year to the guy who at week 14 I had as coach of the year, and that is Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions, the defending division champions. They won the division in a great week 18 game against the Minnesota Vikings. But man, this is it's wild that in a division that has the Chicago Bears, there is a credible argument that the Chicago Bears are not the murkiest team in the division, and that it is actually the division champions. Because realistically, like, this team, this is a roster that is for the most part intact compared to last year, especially if you look at those starters. The question, though, is who's going to be really calling the plays both on offense and on defense, because Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, is now Romeo's head coach in New York, and Ben Johnson, we already covered, the offensive coordinator, is now the head coach in Chicago. So the question here is who became their respective new DC and new OC. And so the answer is, or the question is answered by looking at their roster, and it is Kelvin Shepard, who was I'm not. Wait, what? This cannot be right. Oh shit, it is. Oh shit. Oh yeah, there it is. So it's Kelvin Shepard, who was the outside linebackers coach for the Lions in 21, the linebackers coach in 22, 23, 24, now promoted to defensive coordinator. He is a former player who played from 2011 to 2018, last with the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, on offense, we have John Morton, who was the Denver Broncos pass game coordinator for 2023 and 2024. He returns to the Lions, where he was the senior offensive assistant in 22, to now become the offensive coordinator. And I was a little upset about losing John Morton, because I need somebody to continue to help develop Bo Nix. And Romeo is like, hey, let me tell you, I love Glenn already. This, I think really the question is, like, this is a roughly speaking intact squad. Like, they didn't lose too many people. They did lose some pieces here and there. They replaced some people. You bring in DJ Reed, you bring in Zach Cunningham from Denver, you add in the players here and there. But for the most part, really they're just hoping that Aiden Hutchinson is back fully healthy from the injury, and that they're not as depleted from the injuries as they were last year. So the question from me to you is, with this roster, question marks from the DC and the OC, how are you feeling about those additions or substitutions, we should say, for the Detroit Lions?
Not good. Not good at all. John Morton has not been a good coordinator. He's good in other positions. His time at the Jets was just horrible. The 2017 Jets was not a fun team to watch offensively. So I think John Morton fits what Dan Campbell wants. Run the ball. Run the ball. Run the ball. And then we'll do play action pass if we need to. I think the talent is there. Like, they definitely have the talent. They did take a big blow because they did lose their starting center. He decided to retire before the season started. Before the season started. I mean, Taylor Decker's still a stud. Penei Sewell, we know, is one of the best tackles in the NFL. But they did take a blow losing their starting center. Frank Ragnow? Like, he was a beast for them, and he decided to retire and stuff. Defensively, I'm not too familiar with their coordinator on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know if he's just been with Detroit forever and stuff. Like, I'll have to do some research. Kelvin Shepard, let me see if there's any team.
His entire coaching career has been with Detroit from 2021 onwards. So outside linebackers, then the full linebackers coach for 3 years, and now he's the DC.
Okay, so yeah, he played in the NFL. He played for the Bills, Colts, Dolphins, Giants, Bears, practice squad, Giants, Detroit, and then he became a coach. Cool. First time DC. Good thing is that he has a stud in Aiden Hutchinson. We didn't really get to see that Hutchinson and Davenport combination. They brought in Marcus Davenport, and he got injured in the first game against the Rams. So if the Lions stay healthy on defense, like you got a guy like Alex Anzalone, who's not really a top linebacker in the league, but what he means for the Detroit Lions is so much more than we can put on in stats and everything. Like, he's such a great emotional leader for that team. He brings something different to that team. It's like the Paul Posluszny, in Jacksonville for so many years, just a great, reliable guy. That's Anzalone for this Detroit defense. Jack Campbell, showed that he's a great player. Derek Barnes played well too. So Terry and Arnold just needs to stop holding. Brian Branch, he needs to play better than he did last year. Kirby Joseph is great. Bringing a great cornerback in DJ Reed, who is one of the better nickel cornerbacks in the league. Amik Robertson is okay. But the thing is that this coordinating room is not as talented as the coordinating room they had before. And that's where it's going to be an issue. And that's where I feel like the Lions, like, they're still a great team on paper. On paper, talent-wise, this is a really, really good team.
Yeah.
I just don't see – I see them making the wild card, making the playoffs, but they really, really need to overachieve because I really wanted to choose Detroit as my NFC North team to make the Super Bowl because I really like that. I really like the roster. I looked at that schedule and I said to myself, I don't know. Like, this is going to be a tough schedule. And I'm not big on like just them losing the Ben Johnson aspect of the creative play calling in the passing department.
Mhm.
I think that's gone now. I think you're getting a more John Morton kind of simple pro style offense. And sure, the pro style offense is still really good, but with the players you have, I don't know if it's going to work. And Jameson Williams, we don't even know what his issue is. Like, like he's having some issues with the front office. And could be someone that Detroit has a bad season, they trade? Like they say, hey.
I would not be surprised if they did trade James.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't be surprised either if they say, yeah, screw it. We're fine with Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond.
I've heard some really good things in camp, at least, about Isaac Tesla.
Tesla, I think is gonna be good.
That's I think a situation where, like, as much as I love my boy Tim Patrick, that he's gonna be pushing him for the
did you see your boy KJ Hamler got the wrong scooter on Hard Knocks? Did that make you sad?
I was funny. No, when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, he is on the Bills now.
You're like, wait, I thought he was a Bronco for life. Like, what happened?
No, definitely not.
he seems like that type of player. You just keep on the roster, and you're just like, why is he still in the league? Like Sage Tutu for many years on the Chargers. I'm like, why do we still have this guy? Like, move on. I feel like Jalen Reagor is like going to be like that for me. Like, my receiving room is going to be depleted, and then I'm just going to look at a depth chart and be like, why is Jalen Reagor still on this fucking roster? Yeah, like why? But no, I like Isaac Tesla a lot. Like, I think he's going to be a good receiver. Dominic Lovett too. Like, don't sleep on him. I think with Dominic Lovett, and especially because the thing is they are going to be more of a running team. Lovett, the thing with him, especially on play actions, catching. That's the issue with Dominic Lovett is catching. But being a burner, he's faster than JMO. I know a lot of people like to think JMO's like one of the fastest players ever. Yeah. Dominic Lovett is mad fast. I don't think he posted a good 40 time, if my knowledge is correct. But I've seen the speed that he had at Georgia, and that fool was burning down the field.
He did the 40-yard dash in 4.4.
Yeah, no, he's faster than that.
His 10-yard split was 1.53. His 20-yard split was 2.57.
Yeah, he's faster than that. I'm trying to tell you, he's faster than that.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying what the numbers were.
Yeah, and sometimes these numbers don't show game speed.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, no, because at Georgia there would be a lot of players. He'd just be running down the damn field. I'm like, Jesus, he's wide open. But yeah, no, Tesla too. What I like about him, he has a cool story. Like he played at some random ass college, thought he never had a shot, and then Arkansas randomly picked him up, and he played well for Arkansas. So it's just like he's like he's such a Dan Campbell player. Like, it's just like, this is a guy Dan Campbell likes. Like, doesn't give up, fights for his dreams and stuff. And yeah, he's such a Dan Campbell type player. Tate Ratledge is a stud too. So they did good in this draft. It's just, I don't know. It's just going to be a tough team. Tyreek Williams too. Like, that was another thing, especially when Aleem McNeil was out. You could tell they missed having a guy that could stuff the run and also get after the quarterback. Aleem McNeil's a better pass rusher than Tyreek Williams. Tyreek Williams is more of like, I'm going to stay in that A or B gap, and no one's pushing me out of that A and B gap, and I'll swallow up your running back. Aleem McNeil is more of like a versatile. He can kind of do both. He's like a master of none at that defensive tackle position.
I'm really intrigued to see how this linebacker core works this year, because if they can get the pass rush from Hutch back, and they've got
they're getting that back.
They're getting the lockdown from Branch, Kirby, and DJ Reed. It's on those linebackers to be able to come up and make the tackle as soon as the ball comes out. That's how Detroit has to stop teams. Because if you're playing teams like the Bears twice and the Vikings twice, they're going to be taking those short passes as opportunistic ways to just move the chains on like a second and short. Those, because like they can run it, yeah, but especially Chicago, if they're going to be throwing more, they're going to be going for those short intermediate passes. So that linebacker core really needs to be able to make those tackles. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the schedule.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this schedule, man. Because like this is again, like all these NFC North teams have really, like, it's fun schedules for the viewing public, but from the perspective of making the playoffs, like look at that opening stretch. Like the Browns are the weak one, but weakest one out of that. But those first 7 games, Packers, Bears, Ravens, Bengals, Chiefs, Buccaneers that got that interesting upset win over you in the last year. And then you have the bye week, then Vikings, Commanders, Eagles. You don't really get you get a break. Like, I don't want to call any other team a break, but like you get a bit of a break against the Browns, and then you don't get another break till you get the Giants in week 12. All of these games are competitive, especially like even the Commanders game, which we might say, maybe growing pains for Jaden Daniel. There's tape on him out or whatever. They whooped y'all in the playoffs this past year. Like none of and then after the Giants, you got to take the Packers on again. This is a really tough schedule. Like the Lions have to be on their P's and Q's this entire season. And that's where, to your point, those coordinators are really going to come into play, because it's not just a question of game time decisions. It's a question of being able to scheme up things in the week of preparation that you have before those games, and then being able to adjust on the fly. And this is a first-time DC. It's not a first-time OC, but it's not a guy who stuck as an OC. A lot of this can really come down to Campbell kind of having to be that motivator. Like if this was college football, the the motivator scheme for the coaches, like he's going to have some pep talks, those halftime pep talks. And so my question here actually is the one position we really did not talk about: quarterback. Jared Goff being able to get into these shootouts if he needs to, and win these games. Because sometimes, like for every game that, and they talked about this in the show quarterbacks, for every game that he's had that have been great, particularly like that one game, I think it was against Seattle, where he doesn't throw an incompletion, he also has some terrible decision-making sometimes.
Like Houston,
like the playoff game with the Commanders. So how do we see Jared Goff navigating this team and this offense through this schedule? Break it down for me.
Man, so one of the reasons why I wanted to choose Detroit at first is because I really do believe in like how many times you have to travel, like the air mileage and stuff that you have to travel and whatnot. Yeah. And one of the reasons why I chose the Bengals is they're the least traveled team in the NFL this year. They're only going to travel 8,753 miles. The Lions are the 29th best at 11,411 miles travel. So even though it's a tough schedule, not a lot of traveling, but the away games are in tough atmospheres. M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore, that's like college that's a college atmosphere. Paycor Stadium with the Bengals, great home crowd. We know the Chiefs, come on, at Arrowhead, it's super fucking loud. Like, let's be real, it's a great stadium. Washington, now that they're a good team, that fan base is going to show up.
Yeah.
You got to go to Philly? Oh my God, that stinks. Like SoFi, okay, that's an easy home game. But then you end the season not even at home. You got to go with U.S. Bank, and those Vikings fans. The NFL never shows us like these like in college football, they will always show you like the pre-hype stuff because it's like, look at this great tradition. Every time it's a Vikings game, score. skull. They show, and then it's gonna be on Netflix, so you know they got some cool camera shots for that. And then Soldier Field, like this is, and you kick off the season in Lambeau. This is like you're playing at all the toughest places to play. Like if you ask a head coach, hey, you get to travel less, but you have to play at the toughest places to play. What would you rather do? Yeah, let me travel more with my team, and then I can play at easier places than having to travel and play at all the toughest stadiums. Like they're literally playing minus SoFi and maybe Washington at the toughest places to play. And Jared Goff, the thing is like I look at the schedule and it's like I can point at Bengals, Chiefs, Philly, and even the Rams. Those are games where it's like, yeah, like Goff might stink those games. Like, you know, and I think Goff, he's a top 10 quarterback. But Goff is more like a fancy game manager. Like he's good at managing the game. But if you ask Jared Goff, hey, we need you to like do this right now, I don't think Jared Goff has that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Jared Goff has that. Like, tell me if I'm crazy in saying this. I trust Baker Mayfield to lead a game-winning drive more than Jared Goff.
Yeah, I don't. That's tough.
Like Baker Mayfield's Baker Mayfield's like my benchmark of do I trust you leading a game-winning drive? So like quarterbacks I trust leading a game-winning drive right now. Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, right? Like they clear Baker Mayfield, right? Yeah. Jalen Hurts, he's over Baker Mayfield, right? You trust Jalen Hurts in the last 2 minutes, right? Yeah. Okay. Then after that, it's everyone else, and then Baker Mayfield's right there, unless you can name me someone that is above Baker. Like, is there any quarterback that's popping in your head?
I mean, I can make I think I could make an argument for maybe Herbert.
No, Herbert's not there yet. I say Herbert's like one tier below Baker.
I feel as though I could make an argument for like Brock Purdy.
Okay, I'll put Purdy above Baker. Yes, I'll put Purdy above
Baker. Yeah, I feel like I can make an argument for Purdy.
No, I agree with that. I'll put Purdy above Baker. So Purdy is like the last tier before Baker.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say Bo, but I just haven't seen enough from him yet to know.
Yeah, no, the year two quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, I guess you can also put above Baker. Yeah. But like a lot of quarterbacks year two, I don't put them in that category.
Did you say Lamar?
Yeah, I said Lamar.
Oh, so you said Lamar.
Yeah, I did the top four.
Yeah,
Burrow, Mahomes, the four best quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and then I'm talking about just game-winning drives. I'm not talking about like this is not my QB rankings. I'm saying like balls in your hand, like Jared Goff overall, I think is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but the situational football.
But in situation, if I needed a 2-minute drive, I'm trusting Baker Mayfield more than Jared Goff.
I probably would agree with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in a 2-minute situation, I trust Baker.
Baker also has the wheels and isn't afraid to run.
Yeah, exactly. Like Baker Mayfield, like when the defense is coming, he's going to be running like a lunatic and stuff. Like Baker Mayfield is like the benchmark of like okay, like I trust. Like I don't think I can trust Jared Goff over Baker Mayfield to win. And that's another point. Remember, last year I made the point. They were playing mostly indoor games, the Lions. They weren't really playing outdoor games. 8 outdoor games this year. It's 8 outdoor games that they have to play and stuff. So, yeah. Do you want to know who's the most traveled team this year in the NFL, John?
I'm going to assume it's the Chargers. Just
it is the Chargers, and number 2 is the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then your Broncos rank 8th as the most traveled team this year. Oh, no, 9th.
Oh, wait, you know what we didn't cover with the Rams? I mean, with the news earlier? Because I feel as though we've completed our examination. Do you see the shit that's going on with Stafford?
With his back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're giving this man epidurals.
Yeah.
That's insane. Jimmy Garoppolo, man. Sir, you're being pressed into service. I don't care what. Week one, maybe week 2. I don't see how Stafford's playing those games.
Stafford healthy, he's above Baker, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's part of what made me think about it. and was reminded about the injury, and then you brought up the Rams again.
Yeah, that's not a good sign for the Rams because Stafford is kind of important.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
If only Will Levis was healthy, if they would trade for him. And I'm just saying, if Will Levis
it'd be easy. It'd be easy.
You know, who could the Rams trade for at quarterback?
I'm about to say it. It'd be easy.
Who? Trey Lance?
Yeah.
He's right there, yeah.
You got to change. Just got to
move to locker room. Yeah, move locker rooms.
That's what I said. It's easy.
You know, there's probably a universe.
Trey Lance to the Rams for a 3rd round pick. Just Chase say no.
I don't say no to that. That would be the greatest fleece ever. You know, there's a world where McVay's probably like, man, we should have just traded for Bryce Young. I fucking knew it. Fucking Stafford can't see it. Because Stafford, he must be like really frustrating to deal with. Like, because like how did this keep under wraps for so long? He's taking epidurals for his back and shit. Like,
dude, it's crazy.
Like, what are you telling your team doctors? Yeah, I'm just doing yoga. Like you're a franchise quarterback. Like, this is not like any other position. It's like the most important position on the roster. Like, It doesn't matter. It's like the most important. And so, yeah, with the Rams, it's like one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's like they have to find something at quarterback. Like, maybe they ask Seattle, give us Milrow. I can fix it. Yeah, did you not see? We didn't talk about Milrow. He looked good in preseason. He didn't look amazing.
How could you forget your boy like that?
No, he just randomly throw it. All his throws were terrible. All his throws were horrible. And we didn't even talk about Travion Henderson, his kickoff return. Everything else was kind of whatever.
Man. Yeah, I mean, push. What's his name? Ramondre. Then get back to me.
I'm trying to find who could the Rams trade for, like, besides Trey Lance.
You know what? Let's pull up our handy dandy.
Oh, Kirk Cousins. Well, we're in LA. This is great. Great clips. There's a lot of great clips. There's a great clips. There's literally a great clip.
They'd have to take on that fucking salary, but huge ass cap hit.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you look at the yeah, that's tough.
Oh, Winston. Roman brings up James. Yeah. I don't know. Winston,
I would pick up the phone and see if Miami's willing to deal Zach Wilson.
Wilson wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, that's like a McVay type guy too.
If you think about like just like maybe 3 weeks, Zach Wilson, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Tyler Higbee.
Didn't they play with each other?
Do a little bit. You could do a little bit.
Puka went to BYU, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they had to play with each other. Are you trying to, Romeo?
That man's just so jaded. He's so bored.
Romeo, do you know who you're talking to? Sean McVay here. I can win with any. I'm going to show Kevin O'Connell up. Chase says that he's the best coach in the league. Watch me make Zach Wilson into an All-Pro. Fuck you. That's Sean McVay's ego, man.
Because I was going to
say, actually, maybe McVay makes a call to Shanahan and be like, yo, give me Mac Jones.
That's what I was going to say.
Give me Mac Jones. Oh, Lord, just give me Mac Jones.
If it wasn't in division, I would believe it.
Yeah, no, just be like, come on, man.
I don't see that. There's no way I see that.
No, yeah. The thing is, too, McVay, I don't think he wants to deal with an older quarterback for like a short.
Yeah.
Did you hear how he talked about Stetson Bennett? It was like the funniest, like trying to be nice, talking about someone who has an alcohol problem, like Bennett had. He goes, "It's getting better, you know. He looked better. Looked like he was ready to compete. He was out there, focused and tentative." I was like, dude, like, what kind of, like, this is like talking about like the person recovering and shit. Like, I was like, damn, dude, he has no faith in Stetson Bennett. They drafted this guy for what, like, and stuff. Like, oh man, but yeah, Matt, I think the only issue is, well, it doesn't matter. McVay knows Shanahan's playbook, so it's not like that's it. Or maybe he calls LaFleur. He goes, "Hey, Malik Willis was pretty good as a backup last year. Let me have it." He could ask for Malik Willis.
Oh no, they're trying to win the games. I was gonna say they solve your Rattler Shuck problem. And they get Rattler.
No. If anyone could get fleeced, it's the Saints, and I could see McVay be like, "Give me time."
No. But I'm saying like, Oh no, they're trying to win the games. He's not trying to put a rookie out there.
Oh, you know what? Get Jake Haener then. Oh, we didn't think Zach Taylor, friends with Sean McVay. Jake Browning wants to be a starting quarterback. Browning.
There it is.
Yeah, Browning's not that bad. We like Browning here.
He's probably tired of hearing Joe Burrow talk about fossils.
Yeah, and it's out of division. You know, they probably won't see each other anyways until the Super Bowl and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead. You know,
that'll be worth it.
Take.
I mean, there's nothing really that wrong with Jimmy Garoppolo in the grand scheme of things.
Have you seen him lately? Like I think the problem with McVay is you have to throw the ball. Jimmy's not good at that anymore.
You don't think he's good? I see. I didn't check out that much of that preseason game.
He didn't even play, bro.
Well, yeah, because they're not. Hold on. Where's Rams? There's not the Rams. Why am I have to go so far? Oh, Rams. Oh yeah, with Stetson Bennett. Yeah, because the thing is, they probably anticipate that Garoppolo is going to be the starter, so they're like, well, let's make sure Stetson can do some shit. He
has gray hairs now, bro.
Stetson Bennett, 16 for 24, 188, 2 touchdowns, 1 yard, one pick.
Yeah, man, he was just so focused out there. He looked great.
It's not bad.
In the game.
It's not bad.
He wasn't in his Miller Lights. He was in the game. No, you gotta watch it, dude. I was trying so hard not to laugh. The way McVay was talking, like he was like, "Bro, like what the hell is this?" The way he said it was hilarious. Yeah, I think we found the situation. Call Zach Taylor, be like, Zach, remember how I fucking got you this job in the NFL? Yeah, give me Jake Browning.
Jake Browning probably would make the most sense.
I'll give you a 4th round pick. What do you mean you want a fucking 3rd? I fucking made you. All right, fine. I beat you in the Super Bowl, by the way. Fuck you.
Oh. This also would never happen.
Josh Dobbs?
No.
Pastor not.
Sean McVay calls up Cleveland and says, hey, Shador's looking good. What about that Dylan Gabriel fella?
Oh.
What about that Dylan Gabriel fella?
Give me the little Hawaiian. I want him.
and then
he calls up the Dolphins. I heard Tua keeps getting concussions. I know you guys want to start Quinn Ewers. Give me Tua. I can fix him. I'll teach him how to slide.
The wildest part is that that actually sounds like eerily accurate to what Sean McVay would say.
Dude, I think Sean McVay, like he does a great job in front of media, but I could tell this guy's like a fucking spaz, like behind the scenes. Like he's probably just always like he's on his like 6th cup of coffee. He's drinking. He's like, Les, we got to do something. Fucking Stafford didn't tell us that his back was just fucking jacked up. Fucking A. I wanted to retire and do TV.
Yeah,
but you guys kept telling me, Coach, we're gonna keep getting the team to be competitive. Coach, we're gonna make this roster better. How are we making this roster better with this quarterback? Calm down, Sean. I'm gonna find something. I'll be on the phones. You don't have to be on the fucking phones. I'm gonna call them myself. Hey, Gannon. Look, I know Kyler's getting paid too much. Give me Kyler. What do you mean? 1st round pick? Fuck you. He's just getting pissed off. He's calling people, just getting mad, and just being like, man, I could have been retired, could have just been there, and I could have taken any coaching job I wanted. Fuck. And he's just like all upset. Sean McVay, there's a world where Sean McVay is the funniest college football coach of all time. Like Sean McVay just going to players' houses. Look, do you want to win football games, or do you want to just fucking be a loser? He's just like recruiting these kids. I think Sean McVay, if he went to college, he would actually be a really good college football coach. I don't think he would. He'd probably have some of the funniest interviews though, because they'd be asking about. But could you imagine reporters asking Sean McVay about like the transfer portal? Yeah. Listen, we can only get what the boosters give us, man. They're not giving us much. You want us to win games? You gotta give us more money. That's it. He would just be all, like Sean McVay just sounds like he seems like the funniest person out, like just in general. Like he just seems like behind the scenes he's a maniac. He's probably on the phones right now. He's probably like listen, you gotta give me this fucking kid. Come on, Jets, give me Justin Fields. You guys don't know what you're doing with him anyways. You guys want to draft a quarterback high anyways. You want to tank? Or you want to give me a quarterback that I know I can win with? All right, fine. Fine. You want to give me? Fine. Fuck you. Hands up the phone. McVay. Because, like, dude, McVay doesn't really, like, I feel like he rubs people the wrong way sometimes. Maybe, like, besides his circle of LaFleur.
I was gonna say, like, I know he's allegedly has improved a lot of his personality and whatnot, but like that Goff situation,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
we're not that far removed from that.
Well, dude, his body language too was very obvious how much he was annoyed with Goff. Like he was like, oh my god, just do what I want you to do. He was like mad, and like you could tell, like Goff took that personally and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's probably like he probably just says, "Great game, Jared," and then afterwards when he goes in the back, he kicks his trash can. He's like, "Fucking A, I can't believe you lost to Jared Goof. It's so fucking terrible. Where's my copy? Damn it."
Well, let me ask you this for next week. Do you want to do both conferences, or do you want to do like AFC and then the week after do NFC? Like, how would you want to work that?
Let's just do both. Let's just power rank both. Yeah, just power rank both of them. Like, it's not that hard. There's like 16 teams. We can go one by one, and then we don't have to go into. We can just name, and then we can break down our list.
Oh, you want us to be here for 4 hours?
I told you the North would be the best division. That's why this is one of our longest predictions. Is because of how good the North is. Like, there's a lot to talk about these two teams. Like, dude, like if you look at the South, we're just like, all right, let's just move on. Like, we don't need to talk about Carolina that much. Like, they're gonna suck. Like, look at the schedule. Like,
oh, I thought Bryce Young was the chosen one.
He's the greatest Alabama quarterback of all time. He is. There's no argument. He is. He would have won the national champion. Yeah, of all time. It's him, then Tua, then Hurts, then AJ McCarron, Greg McElroy, and then it just gets worse and worse after that.
Yeah, it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah. Like, you're looking up greatest Alabama quarterbacks of all time. Bryce Young should be number one.
I'm just looking at all of them.
Yeah. They all suck, besides Bryce Young, Tua, and Hurts.
Wow, I did not know that.
What?
I didn't know Mike Shula was.
Yeah, he was our coach when I was a kid.
I know, but I didn't know he was the quarterback for Alabama.
Yeah, that's why when they hired him, they were like, "Oh, former Alabama quarterback going to lead Bama back to greatness," and then he didn't.
Gotcha.
And then afterwards, I think there was one other coach before Saban. It was Mike something. We had the 3 Mikes when I was a kid. Shula was one of them. And then Saban took the realms. And then everyone's like, oh, this guy flamed out on the Dolphins.
You're putting Bryce Young for Broadway Joe Namath?
Yes. Look at the stats. He won a Heisman.
Huh?
Who won a Heisman?
Huh?
Did Bryce Young not win a Heisman trophy?
He did. I'm not saying he did.
Right. Oh, I forgot to add Mac Jones on the list. Yeah, Mac Jones probably I think Mac Jones over Jalen Hurts as best Bama quarterbacks of all time, stats wise. AJ McCarron would get more love. It's just McCarron was in the era where we had all the running backs, so he would just handle most of like Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy, and everything like that. Like when Bama running backs were just like OP, TJ Yeldon and shit. So it's just like, God, that guy. I'm surprised TJ Yeldon wasn't something in the league. He was amazing at Bama, and he just stunk. Romeo, I didn't watch Joe Namath. I didn't watch Joe Namath
by mentioning Joe Namath.
I didn't watch Joe Namath play college football. Like I was in my dad's nutsack. I don't even think my dad was alive when that shit happened. He was in his dad's nutsack.
It was 62, 63, 64.
Yeah, my dad wasn't alive. my dad's younger than my mom by a lot.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's completely unrelated, completely off topic. That always throws me sometimes because like my parents had kids older and when they were older, and I'm also like my brother's 4 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So like my dad right now is turning 81.
Oh wow.
Like I'm 36, my brother's turning 40 in a couple days. My dad's 81, and my mom is in her early mid 70s.
I want to say my dad had me because I was born in 93, so I think he was 23 when I was born.
Yeah, my dad. So let's see. what is it, 1989. I was like, what is it? Like, I need to know my birth year. My dad was 45 when he had me.
Yeah, because my dad was young. My mom's like 9 years older than him, I want to say. Can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, because like when I was like, everyone was like, "Oh, your dad's only like 30 something," and I was like, "Yeah, is that not normal?" I was confused. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't around when Joe Namath was playing. He didn't watch Joe Namath play Alabama football.
Yeah, actually, our friend RJ, Ryder, his oldest, who is in, I think Ryder's going to be entering high school, and RJ's younger than me.
Oh wow,
RJ's your age. Like, I think RJ might be. I think he might be 31.
Oh, he's not 32 yet.
Yeah, or he's 32 or something like that. And Ryder's either like entering 8th grade or entering 9th grade. So yeah.
No, for me, I'm like, I forget that I'm 32 sometimes. Like, I just still think I'm 30. I'm just like, when people ask my age, I'm like, yeah, I'm 30. Like, I don't even say 32. Like it wasn't matter at that point. Like 32, I'm like, wow, I'm 32. Like, what the hell happened? I still look like I'm like 20. You know what I love? Everyone always thinks like, if you don't know my age, people think I'm like in my mid-20s, and I take that as the highest compliment.
Yeah, we were doing the Fantastic Four review earlier. I was doing that earlier with Sid, and we were talking about the previous Fantastic Four movie. And then one thing that was kind of funny when I thought about it was, I was like, one, that was 20 years ago, the 05 one, and two, that movie came out the same year as Batman Begins, which also means Batman Begins was 20 years ago. Yeah. I was like, damn, I feel old.
Did you like the movie?
I liked it. I mean, I think that, I don't want to say like for nostalgia reasons, but like as a huge Fantastic Four fan, like I have Fantastic Four in my room.
Gotcha.
Like, for some reason, the 05 movie is just like slightly better.
I agree with that. I like that one more.
It just had more of like that family, like the core family dynamic kind of development, and that's really what I'm interested in Fantastic Four for. Yeah. The good dialogue between bantering family members, like that's what I want to see, and character interaction.
I felt there was too many like forced comedy moments in this.
Well, that's a Marvel.
Yeah, all the time. I didn't need when they were trying to beat up Galactus, and he was like, "Say the thing, say the thing, say the thing," and it was just like, "Okay, we get it. Like, you're trying to be funny. I'm not laughing and stuff like that." Wasn't.
I like that part.
I didn't. You know what? Also took me out of this movie. I didn't care what happened to this universe because it's not the Marvel universe.
Right.
I was just like, I'm like, these people can die. I don't care.
That's understandable.
Yeah, like I couldn't get into it because I was like, I really don't care if these people die because this isn't my Marvel universe. Now, if it was my Marvel universe, then I'd be like, yeah, no, you got to make sure that Kamala has a home or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I won't give too many spoilers away because I know Romeo is currently live watching. And he will eventually watch Fantastic Four. But there was a character that got introduced that was like, as soon as she said her name, and her name was not the name that I was expecting to hear, I was like, I could care less whether you live or die. I was just like,
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, he said he's seen it already.
I've seen it. Yeah.
No. I'm saying Romeo said he's seen it already. Natasha Lyonne, who I like as an actress. Yeah. But the minute she said her name and her name was not Alicia Masters, I was like, I don't give a shit if you live or die. Because like I'm like, I know I'm gonna get actual Alicia Masters when they get to the real universe. Yeah. I was like, so why do I care about you? Yeah, I was like, why do I care about you?
Yeah, because did you like Superman better than this movie?
Yes.
I liked it way better. Yes. I thought Superman was way better than this movie.
Yeah. Which annoyed me because of how much I am a Fantastic Four fan. Like, I'm a bigger Fantastic Four fan than I am a Superman fan.
Yeah.
So the fact that movie was better than this one, I was like, God damn it! Like, like I waited all this time, and I was very excited for you to get the rights back so you could make the Fantastic Four movie. You make it. I wasn't that thrilled with the Pedro Pascal casting. Vanessa Kirby, okay, like that was good, but I was like, this is, I don't know. But it's, if you guys want the full in-depth, watch the review.
You know what I hate? Doom is not built up good at all. I think we're rushing Doomsday.
Oh yeah, because they realize they have to pivot out of Kang. They had to for a number of reasons. The first, obviously, is the Jonathan Major situation, but the second is that the plot line was not hitting. It just was not. Nobody cared because multiverse stuff. It's too complicated. It's too complex. You also diluted your product with all of these projects. On top of that, you went and tried to become artistic and go after artistic directors and artistic talent, and one that balloons your budgets, but also those people chafe under the idea of following the quote unquote Marvel formula. So they're not like there's just bad juju's happening, and it's going into the movie.
And
there's all kinds of shit that was going on.
And they tried too hard to capture the magic that Black Panther had, where Black Panther like opened up a whole new demographic for like Marvel movies. Yeah, like I like Shang-Chi as a movie, but I don't think it did its job compared to like what Black Panther did.
Right.
Like, and I have nothing wrong with them doing that, but I just felt like that was another like misstep into space where they were just trying too hard to attack so many different demographics by introducing new characters.
And
it just kind of hurt, like the overall.
I was talking
storyline.
I was talking about this in a Discord that I'm part of, and I was drawing the distinction that in business, people confuse market and audience.
Yeah.
And your market is much larger than your audience. Like, so for example, the market for, say, AEW is all wrestling fans plus casuals, but the audience is a portion of wrestling fans and very few casuals. Whereas for WWE, the market is all wrestling fans, casuals. Their audience is majority of wrestling fans, and then a large chunk of casuals.
Oh yeah.
So what Disney tried to do was for two reasons. One was that art drive for like artistic things, like Kevin Feige. I feel as though it comes across as though he got a little upset that people were making the jokes about like, oh, it's superhero movies, it's not cinema. And so he was trying to chase that. And also Disney was coming to him and saying, hey, the previous phases made all this money. You need to keep making more money. Like you can't just like if the next Avengers movie does $2 billion, it's not good enough because the previous one did $2 billion. You need 2.2 now, or you need 2.3. So they tried to increase they tried to increase their market, and they tried to capture more of the market without realizing that they were hurting their actual audience. They were hurting the core audience that made those movies what they are. And that's part of why they're in the boat that they're in, which is unfortunate because Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are two of the better comic book movies.
Oh no, they're good.
They're good. While, and they're not getting the box office results that they're going to get. I said this when Sid and I were talking about Superman and we were talking about Fantastic Four. I appreciate so much the fact that Thunderbolts tackled complicated subjects like mental health, in particular men's mental health, and box office is there. Like the natural conclusion, if you were doing a regular Disney like after action report, would be like, we shouldn't talk about these things anymore. Like that's would be like the natural thing, because like people don't give a shit about it. And it's like, well, but that's how you take superhero movies, make it into cinema, and also help people, because more people are going to watch that than some artistic thing that talked about mental health. So yeah, what
was the downfall of Kang?
When he got beaten by fucking ants in the first movie.
Well, he got not just beaten by ants. Ant-Man boxed him up. Like Thanos was not getting boxed up by fucking anyone. Like like Thanos was built up slowly.
By, like, the weakest Avenger.
Like Thanos, the first introduction, he destroys Thor's fucking ship, and then not only that, the Hulk. They're break in case of emergency. We need someone to get fucked up. We send the Hulk at them. He bitch slaps the Hulk. And you're just like
the other members of the Black Guard are like, well, should we step in? And Ebony Maw's like, he's enjoying his food. Like, don't let him. But no, actually, if you think about it, the real first introduction isn't even Infinity War. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. And in that situation, Ronan, who all of the heroes fear, Ronan fears Thanos. So it's like, well, shit. We're not even seeing Thanos in action, but he's got to be more deadly than Ronan.
Yeah, no. Like I'm saying, he was built up slowly, but like the first time we saw him fight, it was like he beat the fucking Hulk. The first time we see Kane fight, fucking Ant-Man is boxing him up like Paul Rudd. I'm like, bro, I know Ant-Man gets powerful and stuff, but ain't no way he boxing up like Kane. Like, isn't this Jonathan Majors? He in Creed, he boxing up Michael B. Jordan. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was so like, to me, I'm like, bro, Like if you getting boxed up by Ant-Man, these other jobbers are going to box you up too, bro. Like,
and it's, you know what? Speaking of Fantastic Four and all that thing, it's a shame on the Richards bloodline. If you know who Kang really is and his ancestor, because he's Nathaniel Richards.
yeah,
Richards, as in Reed Richards.
Mhm.
Like poor Pedro Pascal's got to know that his future descendants getting his ass handed to him by.
It's to me. I just feel like Marvel, also Internals. What a waste of a movie. Like, what's the point of that movie now? Like, where do they fit in all this? Like, you know how useless the Eternals is. Not even Iron Man considered them a threat. He didn't even want to. Because Tony Stark, he keep tabs on everyone. He was like, these idiots are running around. Yeah, who cares? I ain't even.
That's a great example, because the post-credit scene of Eternals introduces a human-looking person who says that they are Thanos' brother, and it's Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Now, one, not only are they not going to ever pay that off, but two, visually it doesn't make any sense.
Is he in the next?
No.
He's not in the second Avengers movie that's coming out, the one after Doomsday? Oh, I thought he was.
No. Next, visually it doesn't make sense because you're like, that's a giant purple dude, and this is Harry Styles. And three, why is it Harry Styles? Like, that's what I mean by they're trying to grow the audience at the expense of, they're trying to capture more of the market, but they're hurting the actual audience. Because most comic book fans are like, but that's Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, like that's the thing. Like, and weren't they like supposed to? Because like from my understanding, the Eternals were supposed to have like some sort of role in Guardians 3, and they were just like, nope.
Well, I don't know if it necessarily was gonna be involved in Guardians 3, but like there was technology on the ship that was supposed to be relevant to Kang, the same way that Shang-Chi, the bands were relevant to Kang. Because when they went into the Quantumania,
he's in the Avengers.
Yeah. He's gonna be one of the leads. Yeah.
So, how many people is Doom killing in this movie? Because I feel like
Doomsday. Yes.
No, how many?
Yes.
No, but
as in like all of them.
Oh,
he's gonna mollywop like all of them.
Yeah, he's the strongest villain in Marvel history.
In order to put him over, he's gonna mollywop like almost that entire roster. And then what they're gonna do is I did the impression earlier, but they're gonna do the reveal, and of course it's gonna be with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's gonna be like, oh my god, who, like, I don't understand. Who is this? Mr. Doom, Mr. Doom. Like, I know you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You said Dr. Doom. I'm so sorry. But Mr. Doom, why are you doing this? And then he's going to take the mask off, and it's going to be like, Mr. Stark? Mr. Stark? No.
And then later on, we go to black. And then later on, like, the Avengers will return. Question mark. Yeah. Question mark. And then, because the next movie is all the main stars, right? Like, some of the bigger cast in the next movie.
In Secret Wars?
Yeah.
No, whoever is in so far, whoever is in Secret Wars is supposed to be returning for Doomsday, because they're gonna lose and then they're gonna bring people back, same way as they did with Infinity War and Endgame. But as for who is specifically in Secret Wars that is not in Doomsday, we don't know that yet, because I think.
Oh, I thought they announced the cast for both movies. Okay.
Yeah, I think they announced it both like at the same time. So it's more of a situation that we don't know. Like, the idea is who's supposed to be surviving and whatnot. They're not going to,
because we know like all the X-Men people, they're dying.
More than likely.
Yeah, like Patrick Stewart. Thanks for coming. Channing Tatum later.
See, that's the other thing. It's like you can't get too attached to a lot of these people because they're gonna do some kind of a reboot after the Secret Wars.
Do you think Shang-Chi's dying?
No.
Thor. Do you think Thor's dying?
No.
That would put him over big.
Well, wait, hold on a second. Wait, when you say dying, do you mean like dying at the hands of Doom or dying at the hands of the reboot?
No, Doom kills them in that movie. Doomsday.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Thor's not dying?
No for both.
What about Black Panther? Shuri. She dying?
Maybe. Strong. Actually, wait, no. Probably not, no.
Ant-Man? Scott Lang?
Yes.
What about Namor?
Yes. if unless he's working with Doom or something like that.
No, I think he's a babyface in this movie. They turned the face. All right, the new Falcon. That was named.
No, absolute. Oh, the new Falcon. Yes, new Falcon can get killed.
Yeah, Captain America's not there.
Captain America.
Sam Wilson's not there.
Sam
We're stuck. We're stuck with Anthony Mackie. Like Anthony Mackie's going to be.
Now, I like Anthony Mackie. I like Sam Wilson. It's just like they're not giving him. They're not giving him enough to do.
Do you think Bucky dies this movie? Like Bucky will actually die?
I can see Bucky dying.
I feel like he has to kill Thor to make me be like, oh shit, like the Avengers are fucked. Because Thor's their cheat code.
Yeah, I think he can kill Hulk.
He's in this one, right?
I think so, yeah. If I remember right.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo is in this one. Yeah, but this is not good Hulk. He's like combined with the Hulk. Like him and Hulk are friends now, and he's just stuck as the Hulk. Like I'm talking about like conveniently, Hulk's supposed to be one of the heels in the Spider-Man movie. Oh, okay.
So we're supposed to be getting Savage Hulk. Like the idea being that a villain has mentally messed with Hulk, and so causing him to revert back to Savage.
Oh man, I'm gonna be so sad. Ian McKellen's in this movie. Yeah, man. Sorry, Magneto, you're dying. Man. Oh, I'm trying to think of who else he can kill. I feel like he's killing Thor. Like, I feel like Thor is gonna die.
Probably gonna happen. He's gonna mollywop the shit out of Sentry.
Yeah.
I could see that happening because everybody's like, "Oh shit, Sentry! This dude's fucking amazing now."
Yeah, because he like his thunder like he was so overpowered in Thunderbolts.
And because he's fighting baseline humans, but except for Red Guardian. But remember in that movie, gosh, why am I forgetting her name? Fontaine, the Elaine's character. She's talking about how he's as strong as the entire Avengers combined.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're saying that just for the purposes of putting him over in that movie. I think they're using that to put him over for the purposes of Doomsday, so that Doom can beat the crap out of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then kill him.
Yeah.
Oh man, and Mystique's gonna die. Oh man, as an X-Men fan, I'm gonna be sad watching this movie. All my X-Men are come to me. My X-Men yeah, because Jean Grey's in this movie. That actually would make him overpowered if he kills the Phoenix.
She's not.
No, yeah, the actress is in the movie. Jean Grey. Yeah, I think she's in the movie. Cyclops is in the movie. Jean Grey's in the movie.
No, so right now confirmed: Cyclops, Mystique, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Magneto, Professor X, but not her so far.
Oh, I saw Jean Grey on a list.
No.
She could be if she's in the movie.
Listen,
though, like
when that happens, when what Romeo says happens, my wife will literally like jump out of her movie theater seat, lose her fucking mind.
Benedict Cumberbatch, is he in this movie?
Yes.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Okay. You could kill him.
Probably.
I feel like he has to kill Thor though. Like you kill Thor. That would be like
unless they're gonna bring back Thor back by like the end of Secret Wars, then yes. But like, because I don't think Hemsworth is fully done with the role, and two, with all of the recasts that are gonna happen, they gotta keep like one or two like anchor people that people remember from the old shit. So it's gonna be like Thor is I think gonna be that connective tissue. So he will return by the time Secret Wars is done.
Do you think like the next movie it's going to be like all because like my prediction is for Secret Wars, Hugh Jackman is definitely coming back for that movie, and he's going to be like, "You killed my friends, bub." And then you're gonna like we're gonna get Hugh because like there's talks that Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman were going to be in these projects, so I feel like they're going to use those because I feel like that'd be a cool way to get Tobey back as Spider-Man and stuff like that. Like,
but they're not going to have like
they can fight
when they do this reboot. At the end of Secret Wars, they're doing it for the purposes of like clean slating so that they can tell all of these stories in essence again.
Yeah, for the newer generation.
Now that they have everybody, because like there's no more characters that they don't have access to. Like they
Yeah.
don't have access to some of like the Spider-Man side characters and villains because that's with Sony, and they can't make a Incredible Hulk solo movie. However, everybody else they now have again. So I think they're gonna completely like not wipe the slate clean, but they're gonna be like, hey, this is the same person is gonna be like Shang-Chi, for example, but it's not gonna be the Shang-Chi that you knew before.
Oh yeah.
So like I think they probably could do that with like a Thor or characters like that. But we'll have to see. Like I'm very interested to see how they do a lot of these recasts.
Yeah.
So
I just think he's gonna kill everyone in the first movie. Second movie, all nostalgia pops. We're gonna get I'm telling you, in the second movie,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because that's all they like. Very similar to like WWE now. It's all about moments, and it's all about like the nostalgia, not nostalgia pop necessarily, but like the throwback kind of thing. Like that's what Hunter is booking around.
They're gonna have. There's gonna be a moment where they're gonna have to. This is what Secret Wars is going to be them collecting the stones again, and then they're going to be like, we have to get Thanos to help us, and then Thanos is going to help them, and Thanos turns babyface, and then at the end when all hope is lost, they're going to do the snap. Tony Stark comes back, the real Iron Man.
The real Iron Man.
Tom Holland's going to be crying like, Mr. Stark, are you a good Mr. Stark or a bad Mr. Stark?
I'm telling you.
And he goes, I'm a good one because I'm Iron Man. Snap the finger again, the whole universe gets reset.
Dude, I cannot begin to explain.
If this happens, I hope you guys know. I didn't read no script or anything. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. This is how lazy Marvel is now.
I cannot begin to explain how angry the Spider-Man movies make me.
Which ones?
Yes.
No, which ones? The new ones or
the Tom Hollands?
Oh, okay.
The only good one is Homecoming. And I will die on that hill.
The first one.
First one.
Yeah, that's good.
If you look at it, every villain in those three movies either is a different Spider-Man's villain or really actually hates Tony Stark, not Peter.
Not Peter Parker, yeah. Well,
they didn't give him actual villains.
Like
his villains, so to speak.
You know what's funny too? In the second movie is one of my least favorites. I think it's worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2, and people hate Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I don't think it's that bad. But the second one, the Tom Holland ones, is my least favorite because Spider-Man has a spidey sense. Like his spidey sense works in a way where he can tell if someone's deceiving him or not. How the fuck did you not know?
Calling it the Peter Tingle, I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing?
Well, also too, like, how did you not know he was fighting fake monsters? Like that was like my thing. Like, yeah, that's what. Like, Spider-Man is not that stupid. Like that's what I'm saying.
The Tom Holland Spider-Man is an idiot.
Yeah, because Spider-Man would have been like, "That's weird. My punches aren't going through. What's going on? What's that drone flying there? I gotta follow that." Like that's how Spider-Man works. Instead, he's trying to punch this fake monster and everything. Like it was cool for the effects. Like Mysterio was cool idea wise. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, how did he not figure this out?
And like the other thing also is like when we talk about ballooning budgets and like the cost to make these movies, the Russos and Downey are reported to be earning $40 million and $50 million respectively for each film. Wow. That means right off the top, there's $90 million for each movie that has to get recouped. Yeah. And that's before a single inch of digital film is shot. That's before anybody else is cast. That's just those three people.
Well, even Robert Downey Jr., he has like this crazy contract. Yeah. You heard his Spider-Man contract, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where he was all like, yeah, I'll be in the movie if I get some of the box office. I was like, you're not even in the what do you mean you get the box office?
This is such a wild sentence. After earning $500 to $600 million total for his previous MCU appearances, Downey was not expected to take a discounted salary. Like, sir, I know, like, they need you.
Yeah.
But take the hometown discount. Like take the hometown.
He ain't taking no hometown. He ain't taking no. He been on that Marvel slave contract. He done with that. It's like ScarJo. That's why ScarJo got written off. Like, you're not happy with your contract? Later. That's what Marvel does. They find people, put them on these slave contracts. They say like, hey, we're work a minimum wage job for this movie that's going to make millions and billions of dollars, and be happy with it because you get to say you're in a Marvel movie. We'll do anything for your career? I don't know, maybe, but we'll see.
And you know when people ask Marvel like why they would do that, Kevin Feige just does his best Triple H impression.
That's what we do. It's what we do. We just go out there, we create these great superhero movies. What do you want from us? Yeah, no, like Marvel's the WWE of cinematic universes. Pay people cheap. Some people get overpaid a little bit more than others, make a lot of money. But at the end of the day, it's all about cost. That's why they want to reset. They just want to reset, get younger actors in, younger fresh faces, pay them like these cheap ass movie contracts. Like it's money for these actors. Like they look at it, oh, this is life changing money. Yeah. But they're not going to see like the real benefits if they were like actually like getting paid like Christian Bale. It's not like Christian Bale like took these cheap contracts to be in Batman. Like he was being paid shit tons of money to be in Batman. You know
I mean, like if I was those people in those positions, I would absolutely take it because like you're getting brand recognition.
That's what I'm going to try to do.
You're going to turn into something.
Yeah. No, well, I don't want to turn into something. I just want to be in an X-Men movie, bro. Like that's all I care about. I don't care if I act another movie in my life. If I can say I was in a Marvel movie, that's true. That's all I care about. I just want to say. I just want something where like, yeah, I was in the last 3 X-Men movies. What'd you do after that? I don't know. They wanted me to do some TV shows. I just wanted to be in the X-Men. That's it. I just wanted to be in the X-Men.
Chase booking his own episode of Marvel What If.
Yeah, I think it will happen. Who knows?
Well, guys, we want to thank you all for tuning in, especially if you were watching on demand. This was a long one, but it was a fun one. We are going to be back to discuss our power rankings for the upcoming season. And you want to do 2 episodes of Hard Knocks next week?
Yeah, we're going to talk about episode 1 and 2.
Okay, because I know you wanted to do like wait a bunch.
Well, I already watched episode 1. So
Gotcha.
I'll watch episode 2 later.
All righty. Well, until next time, guys, remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll catch you all later.